The first thing our main character did after being reincarnated was slap his ex-girlfriend so hard her teeth fell out. Then he went to a weapon shop to buy the jack sword. Everyone thought he was completely insane, but only he knew it wasn't just a high-level sword. It was the beginning of his revenge. As it turns out, this is a world ruled by the awakened. When everyone turns 18, they can undergo a ritual to become an awakened. They not only possess incredible power, but can also gain wealth and status. In his past life, our main character had cleared the most difficult dungeon only to be betrayed by his best friend and girlfriend. His girlfriend even called him a pathetic simp. She had been sleeping with his best friend for years. Even the woman who protected our main character died at their hands. Seeing the disgusting looks on their faces, our main character swore an oath that if he had a next life he would tear those two bastards to shreds. To prevent the divine artifact from falling into their hands, he jumped off a cliff with the girl who protected him. Surprisingly, the divine artifact began to glow as our main character woke up. He felt the surroundings were somewhat familiar. Wasn't this him at 18 years old? It was the day of the awakening ritual, and his memories were exactly the same as in his past life. It was then he realized he had been reincarnated. Just then someone shouted, as expected of the Zhang family's young master, he actually awakened an 8-star magic warrior class. Hearing this, our main character's face immediately darkened because that was the best friend who had betrayed him. Suddenly a finger tapped him. Su Ming, so you were here. I've been looking for you all morning. The person who arrived was none other than Gui Zhao, the one who chose to die with him. Seeing her familiar face again, he immediately suppressed his joy and congratulated her. At first, she didn't understand what he was congratulating her for, but then she heard the headmaster call her name. Just like that, Gui Zhao walked up to the awakening platform and placed her hand on it. A powerful burst of energy erupted. She had awakened the hidden combat class summoner. Everyone who saw it was astonished. 2 hidden classes appearing in a row. Next, it was our main character's turn. After receiving Gui Zhao's well wishes, he stepped onto the platform. In his past life, he was an orphan who had always scraped by on scholarships and financial aid. But on Awakening Day, he received a gift from the heavens, awakening the 9-star legend-grade combat class, God of Slaughter. Therefore, in this life, he would once again make everyone see him in a new light. He then placed his hand on the ritual device. A celestial phenomenon immediately caught the headmaster's attention. He believed this energy was the sign of a 9-star talent. Just as everyone held their breath for the result, our main character was shocked by the sight before him because the counterpath divine ring had also traveled through time with him. Not only that, but it lit up in front of him announcing that he had bound to the strongest god-slaying class change system awakening, a mythic grade class called Sword God. But our main character wasn't happy at all. You have to understand this was a completely new class. Even the system was completely different from his past life. But as soon as he saw the words, talent of all things, and the golden sublimation, he froze. This was even higher than his 9-star class from his previous life. If that's the case, then this is enough to surpass my God of Slaughter class from my past life. With a happy heart, he immediately opened the interface only for the system to inform him that he hadn't awakened any abilities at all. He angrily cursed at the system. You don't even have any skills and you call yourself golden grade. Perhaps getting angry worked because the system continued with its notifications guiding him. But it needed the ring for the next identification step. The counterpath divine ring immediately appeared in his hand. Then a successful identification window popped up listing the God of Slaughter skills he had inherited. Following that was a wave of power. Just a second later, a 5-pointed star appeared in the sky. Seeing this sight made the headmaster completely shocked. It was the legendary 10-star talent. Everyone was stunned, speechless. They had thought Zhang Tang's 8 stars were already terrifying enough. Who would have thought a new monster would appear? However, as soon as the headmaster announced that our main character had awakened the Blade Master class, everyone looked at him differently. They mocked him for wasting such a great talent. It turns out that although Blade Master is a hidden class, it requires you to split resources between both physical and magical cultivation. This ultimately lowers your combat power, making it a perpetually weak class. Only Gui Zhao ran up to him and told him not to listen to them. Being able to awaken a 10-star talent, it is already amazing. She said that even if the Blade Master class was a bit weak, she believed he would be fine. Hearing this, he said he didn't care what they said. Suddenly, the crowd roared with cheers for someone who had just arrived. It was none other than his girlfriend Ren Xiaoman. Seeing the 8-star talent, Zhang Tang also went over to greet her. Gui Zhao remarked, She's so popular, a true school belle. But when she turned around, she saw our main character had already left. After all, if she hadn't betrayed him in his past life, he and Gui Zhao wouldn't have met such a tragic end. Therefore, this was a debt he had to repay. So our main character said goodbye to Gui Zhao and headed to a familiar street. According to his memories from his past life after the day of the ritual, there would be a newbie trial dungeon, although for him it wasn't the least bit challenging. But before that, he needed to get a good weapon. Half an hour later in a certain hotel. Hearing Zhang Tong cursing that the main character had stolen all his spotlight, Ren Xiaoman told him in a soft voice, not to be angry as that guy was just a sword master, but his awakened talent is 10-star. He'll definitely be very useful to exploit later on. After saying that, she held up her phone, saying that as long as she charmed the main character a little, he would surely fall for her bait. Meanwhile, the main character had arrived at the weapons and equipment area. Inside, there were many weapons to choose from. Everyone was flocking to see the exorbitantly priced frost sword, but the main character couldn't care less. That weapon is nothing but junk. In my past life, all the guys selling those fakes were arrested. Suddenly, someone called out to the main character, asking if he was Su Ming from the Mystic Star Academy. After getting a confirmation, she introduced herself as the CEO of the Jiang'an Group. She had come to ask the main character for a favor to protect someone. Holding up her phone, it was revealed the person in the picture was Jiang Yunqing, her younger sister, who goes to the same school as the main character. She had investigated him and found out that he had awakened a 10-star profession today. So she hoped he could team up with her sister tomorrow to protect her and help her complete the novice dungeon trial. If he agreed, any weapon in the shop was his for the taking. Just when everyone thought the main character had hit the jackpot, he directly refused. Zhang Lan couldn't believe it. She never expected such a generous offer to be rejected. She felt the main character was truly ungrateful. However, the main character didn't blame her, telling her that not everything can be solved with money. He told her that her sister should try her best in the dungeon tomorrow. Hearing this, Zhang Lan, though unhappy, could only call her bodyguards and leave. Just then, the main character received a text from that bitch. She asked him to meet on the rooftop tonight. It was the exact same message as in his past life. Even though I awakened a profession other than the god of slaughter, you still want to use me, don't you? Just you wait. I'll give you exactly what you want. And so the main character texted back, see you there. After that, he went up to the 3rd floor where they sold a type of stone. These could be opened to reveal swords of random quality. Seeing a customer, a staff member immediately introduced them to the main character. These are stone blanks. Although there's a chance to get a silver-grade weapon, most of them are of pretty low quality. I hope you can find something good. However, this was exactly what the main character needed. Rather than spending a large sum of money on a weapon that's about to become obsolete, I might as well gamble on a silver-grade sword here. Moreover, the main character could see the data of the sword blanks. This was all thanks to his profession from his past life, the god of slaughter, and the second skill he managed to retain. Once unlocked, it allowed him to see all the information about an object. Very quickly, the main character used 50,000 to buy a stone blank. Just then, someone noticed what was in his hands. They thought the main character, who had just rejected the Jiang'an Group, was a complete idiot. He turned down a free weapon only to go and buy this useless stone blank. The main character sighed, realizing this guy was a second-generation rich kid who loved to put others down. To teach him a lesson, the main character asked if he dared to bet 5,000 RMB. The bet was on whether this stone slab could produce a silver-grade weapon. Hearing this, Tang Wei laughed until he cried. He had never seen anyone so eager to give away their money. After all, this type of stone blank has a 99.99% chance of yielding junk. Hearing the bet was on the main character stood up to open his eyes. Then he smashed the stone blank. A sharp silver-grade sword now lay in his hand. Tang Wei was stunned. He never would have dreamed that it could actually reveal a silver-grade weapon. The main character then began to inspect the sword. It comes with a life-steal effect. Looks like I won't even need a healer this time. Anyway, about that bet. I'll be taking that 5,000 RMB from you. Tang Wei paid up, cursing wildly. There will come a day when I get my justice. Afterwards, the main character found a staff member to get a scabbard. Having one would reduce the weapon's wear and tear. Not long after the main character checked his talent. He thought that even though his sword god profession had no combat skills, his talent map showed a powerful primal talent. It can sublimate any quality of talent once, but with a talent like this, it's truly worthy of this golden sword god profession. Since that's the case, then let's test its power on this sword. Then a stream of red power enveloped the sword, directly transforming the silver-grade sword into the Bloodlust sword. After slaying an opponent, it not only boosts stats in the short term, but it can also permanently increase all of my own attributes. In that case, tomorrow's novice dungeon will be much simpler. As for tonight, I have to slowly savor this little date. Time skipped to that evening. Ren Xiaoman had been waiting on the rooftop for a long time. Hearing a noise behind her, she immediately called out in a charming voice, "Su Ming, you're late tonight." But a second later, her eyes widened in shock because what awaited her was a long sword. After dodging the attack, she questioned the main character, "What is the meaning of this?" But the answer she received was, "Of course I'm here for revenge." This made Ren Xiaoman very confused. "Revenge? What are you talking about? I accepted your confession and took the initiative to ask you out, and now you want to hurt me." Hearing this, the main character's face darkened. That was in my past life. It turned out that back then this girl was the school belle. Originally, she had no connection whatsoever to an orphan like the main character. He never would have expected that the day after his awakening she would take the initiative to show him concern. Even though it was just a few simple, caring questions, it was something the male lead had longed for his entire life. Having fallen for her completely, he bravely confessed his feelings to her. Unexpectedly, she agreed immediately. Those days were the ones he cherished the most, but it was all a lie. And so he immediately screamed, "You and that bastard Jiang Tang are sleeping together. Don't think I don't know. You just wanted to use my talent and abilities." These words stunned Ren Xiaoman. She then told him to stop spouting nonsense. He retorted that in his eyes, she was nothing but a low-level green tea bitch. Ren Xiaoman screamed that if it weren't for his somewhat valuable talent, an orphan like him wouldn't even have the right to speak to her. She yelled that she and Jiang Tang would make him pay. But he just gave a cold laugh and said, "Do whatever you want, as long as you two aren't afraid of your little affair." Is tarnishing your pure as jade image, that is. Ren Xiaoman flew into a rage, grabbing a sword from the ground and charging at him. "Just like in our past life, you love backstabbing people. I was already prepared for this." As soon as he finished speaking, the body of the bloodthirst sword immediately glowed with red power. Because the target he had locked for his trap was her, it could drain the opponent's blood through attacks or contact. With a loud smack, the bloodthirst sword automatically flew straight into the green tea bitch's face. He added, "You brought all of this on yourself." Unexpectedly, she showed no remorse and even threatened that she would definitely have Jiang Tang finish him off. He just put his hands in his pockets and walked away. "Go ahead and call Jiang Tang's dad over here for all I care." That last strike severed all his past feelings. The next day at 6 in the morning, sunlight shone on a red gem, making it glow brightly. Su Ming popped it into his mouth and ate it with relish. This strengthening pill, the principal was quite generous. But I guess he felt sorry that I awakened a 10-star talent only to get the sword master class, so he wanted to compensate me a little. This really isn't a proper breakfast at all. Just then, the system panel appeared, his stats soaring simultaneously. "Congratulations, you have reached level 2. Su Ming's stat profile appeared level 2 class sword god, world's only mythical grade. Following that were his other stats, which had also activated his passive talent, primordial sword body, its origin a heart born of the sword's will. Su Ming looked up at the sky, thinking, "As expected of my golden 10-star talent, I've learned a new talent at only level 2. He smirked slightly. "Time to enter the newbie dungeon today and see how I perform." At the Xuanjing First Academy's newbie dungeon area, the sound of hurried footsteps echoed. Su Ming glanced behind him. A look of helplessness crossed his face as a group of students called out from behind, "Su Ming, can we form a team with you? With your 10-star talent potential and the newbie gift package from the principal, even though you're a sword master completing, this newbie dungeon should be easy. Let us join you. Our classes can support the weaknesses of a sword master perfectly. We can use our strengths to make up for your shortcomings, and we'll even get more contribution points." He sighed, thought for a moment, and then replied to the group. "They're really looking down on my class, huh? So calculating. Sorry, I already have a team." Just then, Gui Zhao ran up, shouting, Su Ming, you already have a team. I came here early this morning just so I could be the first to team up with you." Hearing this, a flustered Su Ming explained, "Gui Zhao, actually, I'm aiming for a challenge, not just the normal contribution rewards. If you team up with me, I'm afraid you'll get hurt." At this point, Su Ming lowered his voice so only the two of them could hear. I'm planning to take on the challenge alone. She looked bewildered. Oh, is that so? Suddenly a voice called out from behind them. Yanzi approached from a distance and asked, You must be student Su Ming, right? I'm Yanzi from Class 4. My awakened talent is a 9-star Shadow Ranger. I was wondering if you'd like to join our team. He looked at his enthusiastic invitation and thought, Yanzi, I remember in my past life he was also a 9-star Awakener. Just like me. Guijiao stepped forward with a cheerful face. Su Ming has already teamed up with me, so don't bother him anymore. Hearing this, Yanzi had no choice but to back off. Oh, I see. Sorry to have bothered you. She looked ahead and said to the others, That goes for the rest of you too. Everyone disperse. Su Ming looked at her intently. Guijiao really is reliable. He glanced at a nearby clock. I remember the dungeon is supposed to open around now. Just then, an announcement echoed, Attention students! The 127th Newbie Dungeon Challenge officially begins now. He smiled and said, It's time. Principal Wang suddenly appeared on a screen, scratching his head. I'm so sorry, everyone. I overslept and couldn't make it to the site to cheer you on, so I can only live stream from home. First, let me tell you the rules for the Newbie Dungeon. The challenge lasts for 1 day. It's a mandatory trial for this year's new students, and every student has been registered. Once you enter the dungeon, we can identify your information. Each student will be scored individually based on their contribution value for each respective trial. Rewards will then be distributed. To ensure the highest survival rate for you, all the team-based dungeon trial will be considered complete as long as you clear the dungeon within the day. This is the first dungeon trial after your awakening students. Your fateful moment has arrived. Are you ready? Guijiao kept looking around for him. Where is Tomin? He smiled and shouted, No more delays, the dungeon officially begins now! At that moment, a ferocious energy erupted. People in the crowd yelled, Someone's gone in! The sky churned with chaotic energy. The students looked up and one spoke out, I see him too, it's the 10-star Tomin. A glowing green energy orb illuminated the mysterious space. Tomin floated gently through the air with a satisfied look on his face. He smiled and thought to himself, This newbie dungeon feels so familiar. It's making me a bit nostalgic. Back then, I was both scared and excited, just rushing around blindly to earn more contribution points. A light flashed as a loud, clear voice echoed. Novices of Blue Star who have undergone your class change, the universal slaughter is about to begin. This place is filled with both danger and opportunity. You will complete your trials here. The light grew even more blinding. To leave this place and receive your reward, besides earning enough contribution points and defeating the regular bosses, there is another more difficult way. Hearing this, Tomin smiled thoughtfully. But in this life, I want to choose the hardest challenge. Mid-game hidden boss. Here I come. The sky was dark. A gecko sat on a rock looking up at the sky. This gloomy place was called the Raging Twilight Forest. A figure stepped out from the portal. Min observed his surroundings and thought, The level scaling here is completely different from the map I had when I came to this dungeon in my past life. Every year, the newbie dungeon map is randomized, and there's more. Therefore, the route planning for each student will be different. All starting points upon entering the portal are random, as are the monsters you'll encounter inside the dungeon. This thing is an elite monster. It looks like a tree and doesn't move, but if its vines lock onto a target, they'll be dragged into the burning hollow on its head and roasted. My goal is to challenge the hidden boss. It's best to stay away from tough monsters like this. The reason I rushed to be the first one into the dungeon was to scout the route in advance and find the necessary items for my challenge against the hidden boss. Even if the map changes, the way to fight the boss doesn't. If a lot of people enter later, it won't be as easy to gather everything. At 7:30 in the morning, a few more students entered. They looked around and one of them spoke up. Doesn't seem like there are any other students around here. It's really quiet. It should be safe. A loud noise rang out, catching the group's attention. Wait, there's movement. In the distance, the faint silhouette of a person approaching made everyone there panic. Dungding ran towards them, axe in hand, screaming, Help me! Hearing such a blood-curdling scream, the group froze in suspense. Huh! Huge monsters came running, causing the group to panic and shout. Those are giant bloodthirsty mad rats! They quickly scrambled to escape from the horde of giant rats. Run split up now! Outside, an announcement was broadcast. 3 students have been bitten to death by bloodthirsty mad rats in the dungeon. Among them, the one with the highest awakened talent was a 6-star. Li Daitiu, the announcement just finished. The entire hall erupted into chaos. A 6-star awakened. Died too. Kui Jiao, with a shocked expression, said, I haven't even had time to form a team, and a student has already died in the dungeon. Everyone is tense. Hurry up and form teams now. The people inside the dungeon need more help. Inside, Van Ten, with her frail figure, was running frantically looking for a place to hide. She glanced back to see if they were gone. Van Ten stopped and wondered, Where am I? She couldn't get her bearings. A loud sound made her eyes widen in terror. Behind a bush was a large, muscular figure, with rippling muscles lurking. The air seemed to tighten as the giant monster turned around, its eyes glowing red. The massive creature immediately lunged towards Van Tan. A monkey monster, her face turned pale with fear as she screamed, Help! Help me! A fiery dagger with a brilliant energy source appeared. A series of continuous slashes were unleashed, hitting the monster, so fast it could not block. With an overwhelming aura, To Min swooped down with his sword, leaving Van Tan standing there stunned. Elsewhere, a panicking student sat collapsed on the ground. He raised his hands to shield himself as a level 5 elite, bloodthirsty brown bear with terrifying attack power charged at them, frightening the students. How did we run into an elite monster right at the start? What terrible luck. Someone screamed in pain as they were attacked. A level 2 monster known as the Swamp Hunter also rushed out, darting towards its prey, followed by a level 3 pursuit hound. It attacked frantically with its sharp teeth. Ah! Feng Dian, under attack, yelled into the communication channel. Position 9 o'clock on the map is surrounded by monsters. Requesting backup. On the side with the level 5 dragon lizard, cries for help also rang out. The 6 o'clock direction needs help too. The 11 o'clock direction is also surrounded. Monsters just keep coming. Bakio looked at her teammates, trembling as she spoke. The central direction. My 5-person team. Her voice trembled more and more as she looked towards her teammates. They're all dead. Bakio fell to her knees, filled with self-blame. If only they hadn't told me to run. The dungeon has only been open for half an hour. This newbie dungeon is too hard. Can newly awakened people like us really survive this? Meanwhile, Van Tan's pupils constricted as if she'd just witnessed something earth-shattering. The giant monkey monster was defeated just like that with a single decisive blow. To Min's heroic descent left her somewhat astonished, standing frozen as he landed smoothly on the ground. Van Tan praised him. So strong. He took down that monster in an instant. Thanks for saving me. Seeing his familiar bearing and powerful aura, she recognized him instantly. To Min, the 10-star. He smiled, looked back, and replied, I was just passing by. But I can't save you a second time. That monster isn't down yet. The moment To Min finished speaking, the color drained from her face. Van Tan quickly turned tail and ran. I'll go get reinforcements for you, To Min. You try to hold on. An eye symbol with a mysterious red energy stream is called the Omniscient Pupil. The system displayed a notification. Fierce Beast Mutated Ape King Level 3 with sky-high stats. Skill Smash. To Min used that eye to observe. So it's a mutated Ape King. No wonder the normal creatures in this F-rank dungeon could survive despite his weapons attacks. The loud thud of its heavy footsteps echoed everywhere as it ran, and the entire space seemed to be suffocated by its speed. He used his eyes to observe its flash step skill and marveled, this thing is fast. To Min smirked and said calmly, well then let's have a little fight. Skills from his memories gradually surfaced. In my past life I inherited a skill. It suddenly flashed in his mind. Third skill, Phantom Step. Phantom Step increases movement speed, boosting self-speed by 50%. When activated, it grants instant immunity to all physical, magic, and mental attacks. The user cannot be targeted while the skill is active. Consumes a large amount of stamina. To Min gripped his sword tightly and dashed forward. A blade glowing with powerful energy came crashing down on him. He skillfully dodged past the mutated ape monster and shouted, I'm behind you! It seemed to understand and immediately turned roaring ferociously. Seeing it lunge, To Min laughed tauntingly. Looks like we don't need to fight anymore. How boring. In its ferocious eyes was the reflection of him charging forward. To Min quickly seized the opportunity, landing a series of strikes on the ape monster. I'm done playing with you! A system panel immediately appeared with a notification. You have successfully defeated the mutated Ape King. Loot received new skill scroll, / copper low grade. To Min looked at the screen and thought, the single slash skill, even though it's copper low grade. It's pretty decent for a beginner's dungeon. The system quickly logged his loot. First Blood Level 2 player, Sword Master, has completed the first kill of the mutated Ape King in the Raging Forest, receiving the First Blood title. The surrounding candidates quickly received the dungeon achievement notification. A player has successfully killed the monster, and it was a mutated one at that dungeon title reward. A small health potion is awarded to all players in the dungeon. Lum Lum said weakly, completely unaware of the monster lurking behind her watching. We're saved. Just when I needed a health top-up. The area erupted in chatter. A swordmaster. Could it be To Min from the #1 Academy? That's right, To Min is that 10-star swordmaster. It might not be him. This year, including the surrounding cities, there are a few swordmasters. Regardless, someone getting the first kill proves that we newly awakened people, Ipka, also have the power to clear this dungeon. At the same time, To Min frowned. Damn it. I forgot the game's title system would also reveal my strength. From now on, I can only be careful and use my full after his stealth skill to edit and hide it beforehand. I just didn't expect that half an hour after the dungeon started, no one had killed a monster yet. He ran into a bush and discovered something. A pack of hungry wolves with fierce green eyes approached their power at level 3. He hid behind a tree, thinking one of the 3 swordsman leveling spots for beginners. Perfect timing. I can test my new swordsmanship attack skill. A moment ago, I used the All Things Ascend skill to upgrade the single slash skill scroll, copper low grade, that I got from killing the Ape King. The system quickly responded, Skill All Things Ascend has been activated. A powerful sword icon appeared with a brilliant golden energy. New skill acquired. Sword Draw Slash, low grade. Draw the sword from its sheath, focus your spirit, and cut in a single motion. In the vast open space, a hungry wolf with ferocious eyes let out a loud roar. The pack was stunned when they saw a brilliant light ascending into the sky at incredible speed. The surrounding space was then enveloped by a layer of eerie crimson energy. The system chimed, You have slain 1 hungry wolf. Experience plus 80. The system chimed again, You have slain 10 hungry wolves. Experience plus 800. Another notification appeared, You have slain 100 hungry wolves. Experience plus 8,000. At 9:30, To Min held a sharp, brutal sword. The system chimed, Congratulations, your level has increased to 9. You have received the title #1 legend. Seeing this, he thought, successfully using sword draw. Slash, with its long-range attack attribute, is much more effective against these low-level wolves. Drawing the sword from its sheath via the sword body, To Min quickly performed a decisive drawing motion. He observed his surroundings. The energy generated would accumulate for a certain period, locking onto the target. To Min's narrow eyes aimed straight at the center with an aura so sharp it could pierce right through. Then he executed a powerful attack, unleashing a radiant, ascending energy aimed straight at the pack of hungry wolves. Each blow flew straight into their ferocious faces, blurring their vision. Just then, To Min's eyes narrowed as if witnessing something astonishing. Ahead, the alpha-hungry wolf with its massive body and powerful aura charged at him. Its eyes glowed a brilliant red, and its fangs and claws were ferocious. The clock showed 8:30. 2 hands clasped together in determination. Party formed successfully. The entire group of candidates holding their weapons entered the starting gate. Everyone around them was excited. We've formed a party too. We'll follow right behind. At the same time, inside the dungeon, the rookies were fighting. Counterattack, counterattack. The main force is almost here. Strong arms swung swords and daggers attacking the beasts. They were continuously struck down with painful blows, blood splattering everywhere. Decisive slashes landed squarely on the monsters. The rookies were also stunned, their faces streaming with sweat. A system sound made them cheer with joy. Successfully killed the mutated field mouse. We finally took down a special monster. We can win. We can win. The main force has arrived. We won't. After the first player brought us medicine, some people were so happy they cried. We finally leveled up, and now this, another announcement for the first player to defeat a boss monster. The system displayed a message, a level 9 field angler. The first player to defeat the leader monster of the Raging Forest has received the title Leader of Leaders. When that announcement appeared, everyone was stunned. A level 9 field angler. What the heck is that? How can a lifestyle profession be so powerful? It's even reached level 9 already. Rewind to 10 minutes earlier. In a space shrouded by powerful energy, the leader wolf ran frantically through the chaotic void, its eyes glowing red. It charged forward with overwhelming power, but a decisive stab that pierced right through it filled it with fear. Its frantic footsteps created a piercing sound as it fled across the ground. Tamin shot through the air and yelled, "Don't think you're so tough just because you're the Wolf King. Your opponent is me." His sharp eyes blazed with fighting spirit. As a reincarnator, Tamin swiftly dove down to strike. A system message appeared. "Congratulations, you have slain the Silverback Wolf King. Experience, plus 500. Congratulations, you have leveled up. Skill Draw and Slash, plus 145. Skill Rushing Thundersword, plus 100. Loot obtained Iron Clawbone Wolf King's Heart." Elsewhere, Duongdin cut down a monster with an ice-cold expression. He looked around and said, "Using all our strength, we finally managed to deal with this pack of wolves." Seeing this, Nuan cheered. "We were lucky to make it in time. The title reward for this dungeon is a major attack boost. Otherwise, our party probably would have been wiped out." He replied, "A level 9 field angler. The dungeon must be bugged. How could a lifestyle profession get to level 9 so fast? It's seriously mocking us." Duongdin wearily threw his sword to the ground with a clang. Exhausted, he collapsed. "This newbie axe has such low damage. If that damn kid hadn't tricked me out of my money at the weapon shop, I'd at least have a silver-grade weapon by now." Another player tried to comfort him. "Duongdin, it's just because that kid got lucky." That only made him angrier. "You useless bastards, shut your mouths. I was the one tanking all the damage, and I still had to share the experience with you. After killing all these wolves, I only made it to level 2. What a stupid investment among stupid investments." An image of Tamin flashed through Duongdin's mind. It was infuriating. "I wonder if that kid has entered the dungeon yet. If I run into him, I'll just kill him. That should at least let me vent some of this anger." Seeing this, Nuan quickly tried to soothe him. "Brother Din, don't be angry. We've all reached level 2 now. Let's keep going. Farming these wolves will be much easier now." At the same time, Tamin was observing the system screen. "It's here. In this life, I can trigger the first-class change quest just by reaching level 10. The most important thing is that the opportunity has arrived. In my previous life, when I reached level 10, it was long after I had left the newbie dungeon. As a result, the first-class change quest was randomly generated to match the E-rank dungeon I was challenging on a higher difficulty at the time. Back then, I couldn't complete it at all. The only way to face a challenge of that level was to spend a lot of time grinding 5 more levels before going back to complete the first-class change quest, which ended up significantly reducing the effectiveness of the rewards that I received from the quest. But this life is different. I reached level 10 right inside the newbie dungeon, so... The system chimed. "Congratulations, first-class change quest activated. Defeat the Guardian of the Redstone Cave. It's an extremely powerful elite monster. Quest location Redstone Cave in the Raging Forest." He smiled and thought, "There it is. As expected, a quest inside the newbie dungeon. It's much easier this way. Next, I just need to put all my level-up points into agility. This first-class change quest is a guaranteed success." Quickly, the system displayed an information panel. "Congratulations, your agility attribute has surpassed 100. You have received the profession Sword Martial Artist and the title Sword Grandmaster. You have obtained the low-grade silver passive skill. You can now equip any type of sword weapon, ignoring all requirements." Outside in a meeting room, sunlight shone on a luxurious metal plaque that read, "Zhuanjing #1 Academy." A staff member from the Statistics Council spoke up, "Headmaster, the dungeon data rankings for the talented newbies from the surrounding cities have been released." The man pondered for a moment before speaking. Could it be that the statistics are incomplete? Headmaster Wang looked at the female staff member and asked loudly, "Where is the Tomin? I have such high hopes for..." The control staffer replied, "Nothing is missing, Headmaster. This is all the data we've received back from the dungeon." However, at 8 o'clock, the data for the dungeon's first title was recorded by a swordmaster. "It must be the student Tomin that you're interested in." The headmaster looked up at the screen. "Just the first kill title. His profession is swordmaster, and he was born with a full 10-star aptitude. On top of that, I even gave him a newbie gift package. Even if his skills are lacking with his raw power alone, he should be able to take down a few monsters. How could he not even make it into the top 500? The door suddenly burst open. A figure stepped inside, shouting, "What is all this, Headmaster Wang?" Ranling held a data sheet in his hand, his face scrunched in a scowl. You said this year your school had some very promising new talents. The 10-star awakened one named Tamin Wright. My secretary sent me your newbie dungeon data. I've already seen it. Tamin, the student you recommended, isn't on the rankings at all. Principal Wang, under fire, explained flusteredly. Deputy Mayor, and please don't be so angry. Although Tamin is a 10-star awakened one. His class is Swordmaster, so his combat power in the early stages will be a bit weak. She didn't listen at all, continuing to scold him relentlessly. Even a Swordmaster should be able to make it into the top 500. Stop making excuses. Principal Wang. I think you're just trying to exaggerate your students' abilities to get more slots for the Heavenly Tower Assembly. He waved his hands in embarrassment. I'm not. Lang immediately presented a thick file. According to the current data, the only one in your school is a student named Ngimtrak, a 9-star awakened. His hidden class is the Demon Hunting Ranger. He is currently ranked 2nd on the list and has potential. He's the best candidate this year with the ability to compete with the Genius Lai, Tram Quang from the neighboring city. There is also another person I know, the eldest son of the Truong family, whose hidden class is Magic Shield Warrior and 8-star talent. He is currently ranked 4th and has great potential. Lang held her head high and presented 2 cards. So, for now, I can only give you 2 slots for the Heavenly Tower Assembly. He seemed a little worried, but still asked, doesn't each school get 3 slots every year? She turned sharply and walked away in anger. And whose fault is that? Your academy has ranked last for the past 2 years. If you rank last again this year, you won't even have a single slot for the Heavenly Tower Assembly next year. Principal Wang hurriedly spoke up. What if a student achieves good results later on? What if they achieve good results? We'll deal with good results when they happen. I'm busy. I have to go. Principal Wang and the others there fell silent. He held the 2 cards in his hand, his heart aching. The Heavenly Tower Assembly is a crucial path for accepting missions, receiving rewards, and increasing one's power. We absolutely cannot lose the right to participate. At first, I thought that with a 10-star awakened student this year, we would have a chance to get an extra slot. Now we're short one. A sad expression appeared on Principal Wang's face as he sighed. Tamin, oh Tamin, you have to try your best. Don't let me down. At the same time, he had arrived at the lair of various elite monsters with a mysterious and dangerous atmosphere outside the Red Rock Cave. Tamin walked while observing the system panel. The map indicates the mission is here. Luckily, I didn't encounter any troublesome small fry on the way. He stepped inside, placing his hand on the wall to feel his way. I've never been here in my past life, so I have no idea what kind of monsters will appear. Suddenly, Tamin's brows furrowed slightly as if he sensed something mysterious approaching. Instantly, the sound of a club smashing down shook the ground. The monster that emerged was a level 6 gold digger goblin. He looked at its blazing red eyes and thought, a goblin. Tamin quickly and deftly lunged forward with terrifying speed. The sound of friction echoed across the ground. In an instant, the goblin was taken down. He had defeated it with a single sharp slash. Tamin acted quickly. I can't let you alert the entire cave. A system notification sound chimed. This area will activate the Goblin Cave's consciousness. Goblin mode. He stared blankly and then asked, what? And immediately the goblin he had just defeated stood back up with the new consciousness. Tamin frowned, his eyes narrowing in thought. It seems this mission won't be as simple as I thought. A system alert appeared. All goblins in the Red Rock Cave will rush to attack you. Goblin mode is a lawless and unrestrained lifestyle far removed from social norms with absolutely no sense of guilt. It's expressed through a lazy, oppressive, or greedy attitude. Hordes of goblins charged forward one after another. In the confined space, he quickly retreated. Even though they're low level, their strength is in their numbers. I don't know if my weapon's durability will hold out. Just then, Tamin sensed a strange sound. It grew closer and closer. From a deep recess, a massive goblin rushed out, chasing him. It furiously pounded the ground, causing the surrounding earth and rocks to crack. He decisively leaped high into the air, gathering his strength to attack. As Tamin swung his sword, he thought, these guys are pretty smart. It's very difficult for me to get into a dodging position while in mid-air. He calmly looked up at the ferocious goblins charging toward him. Tamin's transcendent energy quickly slashed right through them. He frowned tightly. The mana in the early stages is not enough for me to use Phantom Step for a long time. Their twisted faces appeared one after another. A horde of goblins plus an elite goblin, huh? For me, who completely lacks early-stage skills, facing them head-on and taking them down is really a bit difficult. Min resolutely charged towards them. Then I'll just have to be more agile. He used the momentum to run into the deep crevices of the cave, dodging for now. The elite monsters had their bows and arrows ready, waiting to attack him, taking him by surprise. Meanwhile, Min had successfully hidden behind a large rock, panting heavily. He sneered contemptuously, "Come on, you little darlings." At that moment, goblins appeared before him. Min from the shadows shouted loudly, "Here's a present for you guys." The moment he finished speaking, he immediately lunged forward to annihilate them. The sharp blade was wielded with expert skill. The corner of Min's mouth curled up. As long as I can gain the upper hand, I can maximize the advantage of my sword draw skill. His feet finally landed on the ground. Min's gaze shifted upwards. Since when? Did it seem like there was only one left? Just then there was a slight movement in the bushes. Ruin quickly perked up and whispered, "Over there." When I was scouting, I heard fighting sounds coming from that cave. Yang Ding frowned and continued, "Don't joke around. The system lists the monsters in this area as level 7 or higher. Who would dare to challenge what's inside right now?" Run was still talking, but I could already hear fighting from inside. The moment he finished, Duangdin froze. He turned his head and stared into the thick smoke in front of them. Looks like someone's coming out. Beside him, Run's eyes went wide. Who could that be? Who would be reckless enough to fight monsters in here at a time like this? Duangdin froze again, staring ahead in shock as Min calmly walked out. What a small world. It was the same punk who won that sword from him in a bet. He quickly glanced at his system panel. This quest is pretty interesting, but this part is just a surprise, nothing dangerous. Min paused, slowly glancing over at Duong. Din had already drawn his weapon and charged from behind. Min nonchalantly took a step back, dodging the attack. Duong Din, astonished, yelled, "He dodged it! Quick, surround him!" "Don't let him get away." Min spoke coldly. "What's this about? I have no intention of running." He continued resentfully, "You cost me a lot that day. Today is your unlucky day. Running into me in a dungeon." Suddenly, Min's expression darkened. "You guys..." Duong Din's tone was laced with sarcasm. "What's wrong? Scared now, are you?" Min suddenly scratched his head and said nonchalantly, "Who are you?" Run looked surprised. "You've forgotten us already." Agitated Duong Din gritted his teeth. "Damn you! Have you really forgotten winning 5,000 Advent coins from me?" He immediately rushed forward. "Let's get him together." Min stood perfectly straight and replied, "I don't remember, but there's no need to get violent. If this is how you want it, then I'll just have to test out a new skill." As he spoke, his blade swung out, radiating a powerful energy. Sword control. In an instant, all they saw was a swift red streak. Before any of them could react, they were all taken down. Min's gaze was ice cold, a great success. Clutching his arm, Duong Din stared in shock. "Sword control? How is that possible? That's a skill only a mid-rank swordmaster should be able to learn." Just then, Min and his weapon levitated into the air. He thought to himself, this sword control skill came from a silver-tier skill scroll dropped by the elite goblin I killed. Then I used my All Things Ascension talent to upgrade it to a gold-tier scroll, and the skill was unlocked randomly. I never expected it to be so fitting. By revealing the sword control skill, news will get out, and they'll be even more certain I'm a sword master. But more importantly, after I killed all the goblins in the Redstone Cave, I received the hidden location map for the final treasure chest of the first kill quest. The system notification, "You have unlocked the hidden location map," popped up, startling Min. Huh. Why is it the Redstone Cave again? And what's with this subtitle, "A Goblin's Life"? At that moment, Jang Lam shouted excitedly, "We did it! We finally worked together to clear out all the small fry in this area. And they said an all-girl party couldn't survive. We really have to thank Fen, the 7-star awakened one, for letting us tag along. Come on, let's split the loot." She hurried inside, hoping for some good drops. Fen turned around and called out, "What's wrong, Tired?" Her teammate quickly shook her head. "Oh no, it's nothing. I'm fine." Just as she finished speaking, Fen looked up. Huh. In front of her was a thick wall of smoke. Where did our other teammate go? Fen froze when she heard a piercing scream. She frantically scanned the area. Where is she? Where did she go? Weren't we just splitting the loot a moment ago? The monsters in this area? Right? They should all be cleared out by now. The smoke now covered everything, but there was nothing on the ground. Fen gasped, her eyes wide. How is this possible? At that moment, the system panel flashed to life a goblin's life. They live in dark, damp places, caves, tunnels, and deep forests. Fearing bright light, they are adept at hiding, avoiding enemies, ambushing, and raiding. They live in groups commanded by a chief or elder. Each role has its own task. They have rapid reproductive abilities. In harsh environments, goblins will resort to any means to capture females of any species to maintain their birth rate. Short reproductive cycle. A female goblin's gestation period is only 1 to 3 months, far exceeding the efficiency of normal creatures. Early maturation. A newborn goblin can mature and participate in reproduction within 1 to 2 years. This rapid cycle of maturation and reproduction, all the young women have been captured. What the hell is this? Why is the goblin design in this world so twisted? The system display changed, showing the coordinates. Meanwhile, Min was running through the deep forest. So that's how it is. He seemed to be frantically searching for something. Min slowly looked around, but it was all just forest. He glanced from side to side. Where's the cave? Could the coordinates be wrong? Suddenly, a thick fog materialized in front of Min. He quickly activated a skill to see through the smoke. A smile unconsciously formed on his lips. I see. Because it's called Redstone Cave Part 2, it's easy to assume it's another cave location. But you have to combine that with this instance's theme, buried treasure. Therefore, the location is actually an underground cave. Pretty smart. They're even using fire and smoke to conceal the entrance. In an instant, Min slipped inside. His eyes, full of killing intent, silently scanned the chaotic scene inside the cave. Min concealed himself. I've definitely learned my lesson this time. Killing one will alert the entire goblin nest. He looked up and thought, I'm only here for the treasure after all. In front of him, Fen was barely clothed. Min gritted his teeth. A female student challenger. Looks like she was caught in their smoke ambush. These bastards are just as disgusting as their design description. Suddenly, Van screamed in terror, No, don't come over here! She was being backed into a corner. Don't, Min thought to himself. So there's another challenger still alive. Perfect. She can draw the goblin's attention. Then we can get to the treasure easily. So you can only give up. Blame yourselves for not being strong enough to challenge this newbie dungeon. Van shouted in fear. I don't want to play anymore. Someone save me. I'll pay a huge reward. Can anyone hear me? My sister is the vice president of the Jang-an group. Goblins with glowing red eyes immediately charged forward. In a flash, the tip of Min's sword pinned one straight to the ground. Without hesitation, he levitated in midair. Min quickly summoned his sword control power into his palm. A powerful light radiating from within its sheath exploded from the sword before him. The system had previously announced that goblins like those in caves and deep tunnels are afraid of bright light. These places help them hide from enemies and are convenient for ambushes. Min saved Van just in time by exploiting the goblin's weakness to light. The energy released when drawing the sword from its sheath is accompanied by an extremely bright flash, as long as I don't kill any of them. Van collapsed to her knees. I can't run anymore. Min planted his feet firmly so as not to startle the other goblins. In the lingering smoke, they didn't give chase. Just as I thought. Van eyes widened. Thank you for saving me. My name is Zhang Van. Min thought to himself. So it really is the girl from that photo. You don't need to thank me. I was just passing by. She awkwardly interrupted. Wait. When I log out of the game, I'll give you a huge reward. My sister is... He quickly turned and walked away. Let's talk after you have managed to get out of here alive. Don't follow me. I've already saved you once. Your skills will only drag me down. Van ran after him in fear. Please don't leave me. Suddenly he stopped and lightly touched the system panel. The location seemed to be set. The treasure is here. Those goblins aren't following us, are they? Look carefully. Van stared intently behind her. No, I looked carefully. Immediately, Min shouted, Found it! Dig this dungeon drops a random reward chest, silver quality at best. Feeling a flash of light from behind, Van immediately turned around. Her eyes seemed to be mesmerized. Van spoke in amazement. This is a low-grade gold random reward chest. Min pondered. Just as the name implies, a random reward chest has a high chance of dropping props, skill books, or high-level equipment. Behind him, Van was filled with anticipation. It's open. The corners of Tomin's lips curled up. I wonder what it is. The system announced, "Congratulations, you have received the Shadow Flow set and the Soul Dancer skill scroll." Tomin was stunned and blurted out, "Huh? This is the extra reward I worked so hard to get by completing the first-class change quest. In the end, this is all I got. The Shadow Flow set looks decent enough. But what is this unexpected platinum-grade Soul Dancer skill scroll? It's completely incompatible with my class." Vuntang spoke up awkwardly. I was thinking, could it be because I'm here? He glanced back. She continued shyly, "My awakened class is a 7-star Soul Dancer." Vuntan's words couldn't help but surprise Tomin. The system announced, "Jang Vuntan has joined your party. You have become the party leader." At that moment in the dungeon at the 9 o'clock direction, basic class change quest. Eliminate 33 out of 50 players. The others have all been painfully eliminated. Tram Kwang suddenly stopped a smirk on his face. "Here, the weak only have one path: death. You're next." Kui Jiao, covered in countless wounds, staggered back in shock. Right now in the forest, a perilous chase was unfolding. Kui Jiao was still trying to escape. Alone, she gripped her weapon tightly, trying to climb a giant boulder. Kui Jiao hid silently behind it, peering ahead. Tram Kwang was still busy searching the area. Kui Jiao's footing gave way, making a sound. Tram Kwang's ferocious gaze instantly snapped in her direction. He quickly used his weapon to fly into the air. Kui Jiao froze, her eyes wide with shock as she looked up. Tram Kwang shouted, "Are we playing eagle catching the chick?" Another wound quickly appeared on Kui Jiao's shoulder. He continued, "I'm surprised a weak little chick like you could survive my hunt for this long. You've wasted quite a bit of my time. I have to admit, for a girl, you've got some real skill. It seems your Huyan Kin Academy isn't entirely filled with trash after all." She suddenly cut him off. "Why? Your uniform is clearly from Vu Kin Academy in Wudong City. So why did you come to the newbie dungeon in our area and slaughter people for no reason?" Tram Kwang's tone was slightly arrogant. "It's for no special reason. It just so happens that my level 10 first-class change quest is to eliminate 50 players. A quest like this, I can't just go on a random killing spree in my own city's dungeons. So I had to fly my small private jet over to the newbie dungeon in your area to kill you one by one. If you want to blame someone, blame your academy. You guys are the academy with the most worthless students among all the cities. If you're going to crush something, you obviously pick the softest persimmon." Kui Jiao's expression changed in an instant as she summoned a low-level skeletal spirit. Tram Kwang's muscular arm easily shattered its bones. "Your low-level toys can't withstand a single slash from my blade." It seemed he had completely lost control now. "I won't let you get away this time." Red streaks instantly appeared under Kui Jiao's feet. Flying blood daggers. She gritted her teeth, her eyes widening as she quickly looked up. A powerful vortex appeared in midair. "Who is it?" Ngim Trak, who had appeared at some point, shouted loudly, "Kui Jiao will cover you!" She immediately recalled the image of him from before. It's that guy from back then. Ngim Trak's palm was gripping his bow tightly. The system immediately announced, "Submit treasure fragment." Tomin thought to himself, "With this, the mission is complete." The system continued to display. Primary class advancement mission complete. Promoted to Sword God. All attributes +10. Mythical talent. Divine origin sword body strength increased by 2 times. Speed increased by 2 times. Proficiency increased by 2 times. He slowly bowed. This makes challenging this dungeon's hidden boss even more certain. Tomin suddenly turned his head to look at Vantan behind him. The system announced, "Successfully used Spirit Dancer skill scroll. Acquired skill, Soul Enhancement. High-grade Platinum skill. Proficiency not to exceed 300,000. Consumes health upon activation. When activated, party members receive a 200% increase in experience gain." Tomin's eyes widened in shock. What a 200% experience boost. I can't believe I randomly unlocked this god-tier leveling skill. She's really lucky. Suddenly a glint appeared in his eyes. "In that case, I've changed my mind. You said before that you wanted me to lead you through the newbie dungeon." "I agree now." Van Tan was surprised. "Really? That's great. The mercenaries my sister spent so much money on couldn't even get past the Goblin Cave, but with you, a solo player who cleared the Goblin Cave leading me, it'll definitely be safer." Min lowered his head and sighed. Although I'm not a big fan of rich young ladies who use money to take shortcuts. For the sake of that skill, I guess I have no choice. Suddenly, Min's gaze stopped glancing down at the system panel. His finger slowly pressed the screen. A message from Jiao. Tram Quang had now completely lost control. He didn't hesitate, continuously eliminating those who stood in his way. His eyes filled with coldness. With a skilled technique, an arrowhead suddenly shot forward. Demon sealing arrow. Arrows carrying a powerful force shot down in unison. Gimtrak hastily spoke up, and with a single slash that can pierce my skill. Just then a young man suddenly rushed forward shouting, "Brother Tram Quang!" He quickly swung his weapon at the young man's head. Flying blood daggers. The people he had eliminated were already on the ground. Jiao gritted her teeth in anger. "This guy is too strong." Gimtrak spoke up beside her. "My entire team has been wiped out," she continued in a low voice. "To think Vukin Academy has such a powerful awakened one." He frowned. Having such power is rare, before attempting the new player dungeon. "I investigated awakened ones who use blades with exceptional power." Tram Quang's palm was still clenching the hilt of his sword. Gimtrak said grimly, "The genius Li Tram Quang from the neighboring Wudong city. Innate 10-star talent, hidden class berserker blade." He immediately walked over. "Now there are only the two of you left. What a waste of my time. The progress is only 35 out of 50. Gimtrak was startled and backed away. "As a ranged class, if I can't maintain distance, I can't deal with him." Jiao hurriedly added, "My mana is depleted. I can't summon any more spirits for support." He frowned and asked Jiao, "Can we expect any reinforcements?" She immediately recalled sending a message to Min earlier. Jiao grimaced and shook her head. "No, there are no more reinforcements." Tram Quang's eyes darkened. "It seems you've been isolated. In that case, I'll kill you, the annoying archer, first." Jiao quickly stepped forward. "Gimtrak, run, leave this to me." Tram Quang relentlessly attacked her blade. "Overestimating yourself." He immediately glared and said in a low voice, "A weakling like you," Tram Quang shouted excitedly, "has no right to save others." As soon as he finished, a sharp glint of light appeared from nowhere. In a flash, the light collided with the sword. Jiao was startled when she heard someone call her name. "Jiao?" Her eyes widened. "It's Min." Gimtrak quickly looked toward the dark figure in the smoke. Min frowned. "You are more than capable of saving everyone. The previous message, Toming, the 9 o'clock area is in danger. The two of you must not come near." An image of Jiao appeared in his mind. "In my past life, Jiao, you weren't afraid of danger and came to save me." Min's expression darkened. "In this life, you're the one in danger. And yet you still prioritize protecting others." From below, she shouted, "Min, I told you!" "It's dangerous here." He cut her off in a low voice. "Jiao." Below, she abruptly stopped and looked up at Min. Power instantly gathered in his palm. "Stop always worrying about others first." A smile formed on Min's lips. "In this life, I will protect you." The sharp tip of a blade quickly pinned itself into the ground next to Tram Quang. He was startled, looking in shock at the flash of light before him. Blade control. Tram Quang's palm unconsciously tightened around his blade. He looked up at the dark figure in the air. "This guy." Min immediately attacked. "It's him, the 10-star blade master." His face was now extremely ferocious. "This redhead," Min spoke in a furious low voice, "is the one who hurt Jiao." Gimtrak hurriedly shouted, "A 10-star Min! So strong. I'll provide support from a distance. We'll have a chance to win." Suddenly his body froze as he felt something. Gimtrak was a little panicked. "Who's healing us?" Jiao hesitated before speaking. "This is..." Van Than immediately held out her arm. "I'm Min's teammate. My name is Zhang Van Than, and I'm a Chaos Mancer." She struggled to climb up. "I can heal everyone," Gimtrak said excitedly. "Having a healer on the team is amazing," Van Than said shyly. "But my healing skills aren't that polished yet. It will take a little time." Next to them, Jiao glanced over and mumbled, "Didn't Min say he wasn't going to team up? So why does he have a teammate all of a sudden?" Gimtrak's eyes widened in surprise. "Sorry to trouble you, but please try to be quick. It's really dangerous for Min to be fighting that guy alone." Van Than cracked her wrists. Don't worry too much. His eyes are fixated on the flow of power, aren't they? Van Than's eyes suddenly lit up. Min is amazing. Right then, he was still locked in a fierce battle with Tram Kwang, who thought to himself, isn't this Min guy supposed to be a sword master? So how does he have footwork like that? Min's expression was grim. His palm clenched tightly around the hilt of his sword as the battle between him and Tram Kwang raged on. He suddenly spoke up, as expected of a 10-star awakened one. I have to admit your strength is far beyond what I expected. Let's see who's stronger today, me, Lai Tram Kwang, the 10-star berserker blade of Wu Duong City, or the swordmaster from your Huyen Kin Academy. Min's eyes widened in shock. Lai Tram Kwang. I heard that name. In my past life, he was a truly special figure. In my past life, this guy was a really special character. I never had the chance to get to know him. I didn't expect to meet him this early in this life. The corners of his lips unconsciously curled into a smirk. Interesting. Let's see if my sword is sharper, or if your blade is tougher. Tram Kwang quickly parried with his saber. Tram Kwang's palm shot out. Blood blade flying thorns. Min spoke coldly. You dare to brazenly throw flying daggers at me. As he finished speaking, Min managed to raise his sword just in time. Tram Kwang smirked with an arrogant tone. You fell for it. My blood blade flying thorns carry an aura that can lock an opponent right in place. Just then, Min's sword flew towards him. Go and die. In the blink of an eye, his palm had already caught the hilt of the sword power flaring brightly above his head. Sword control. Min's entire body moved with agility. Immobilization dispelled. His tone turned arrogant. Now it's my turn. Return. As he finished speaking, the sword immediately flew back towards him. Min yelled, let's see how you block this with no weapon in your hands. The sharp blade flew rapidly towards Tram Kwang. Startled, he gritted his teeth and glanced to the side. His hand quickly grabbed the hilt of his blade from the ground. Tram Kwang charged forward excitedly. In that case, you don't have a weapon now either. A system notification suddenly appeared, hidden God steps. Min easily moved to dodge the attack, Phantom Shadow 5/. Tram Kwang thought to himself, his footwork and speed, they suddenly got faster. Min's arm suddenly shot up high. In a low voice, he said, sorry. A smirk played on his lips. My sword has returned. Gimtrak hurriedly yelled, she's all healed up. Min, we're coming. Just hold him off. He stopped mid-sentence, his eyes widening in shock as he stared ahead. The two were still fighting in a thick cloud of smoke. Gimtrak looked towards them. Is the fight over? With a cold look in his eyes and a sharp blade in his hand, Min stood there as the three of them looked on with pride. Kui Jiao rushed over. Min, you're so strong, Gimtrak said with excitement. An opponent that strong. And you finished him off before we even finished the healing. Just then, Tram Kwang struggled to push himself back up. Kui Jiao froze, stammering, behind you, watch out. Upon hearing her words, Min immediately turned around. Tram Kwang's expression was terrifying. You left an opening. Streaks of blood quickly shot through the air. Seemingly unable to believe his eyes, Gimtrak stumbled back in shock. Van Than slowly reached her hand forward. Kui Jiao's eyes widened in astonishment as she yelled, Min! His whole body seemed unable to fight back as red gashes appeared one after another, crisscrossing over his body. Blade dance of falling rain. The scene unfolding before them was gruesome. Min, Tram Kwang seemed to have lost all control. Welcome to my storm of blades, Kui Jiao hastily yelled. I'm coming to save you. Min! Gimtrak quickly grabbed her wrist, pulling her back. Calm down, Kui Jiao. If you rush into his blade storm now, you'll just be throwing your life away, she replied coldly. Let me go. Even if I die, I have to go save Min. Suddenly a voice cut her off. Kui Jiao, listen to him. She froze, staring into the smoke. Min, he said in a low voice. Stay back. Tram Kwang gritted his teeth in fury. How can he take that many of my blades and still be alive? Min's low voice spoke up again. Are you so sure you actually hit me? He froze. That voice, it's not coming from here. Power immediately gathered in Tram Kwang's palm. This is a clone, Min said casually, walking into view. So you finally figured it out. Let me guess. You never expected an ordinary swordmaster like me to have a skill like this, did you? System announcement. Low-grade platinum equipment. Set 5 out of 5 pieces is in effect. Skill bonus adds dark attribute damage that penetrates physical defense. Shadow Clone creates a lifelike illusion that deals an additional slash with damage equal to 50% of a normal attack. He continued, "It's the skill from my equipment set." Tram Quang slowly turned his head. "In the dungeon for beginners, there are no equipment sets to collect. There's only one way to get one, the way you did it." Tamin's tone turned icy. "You guessed right. I completed the basic class advancement quest a long time ago." Model, he was provoked by those words, and yet you were faster than I. My sharp blade shot out. "Now, you can only let me cut you down as I please." The item in Chen Guang's palm slipped from his grasp. Su Ming slowly glanced at the light that appeared. He suddenly stopped, raising his eyes to look up. Yan Zi's eyes widened in shock. "That's a life-saving accessory," Yun Qing added. "A life-saving accessory." He quickly nodded. "That's right. It's an item you throw out at a critical moment. It can help a player make an emergency escape from an instance. That thing costs several 100,000 advent coins. It's not something you can find inside an instance." Su Ming let out a breath. It seems the neighboring city really invested everything to protect their 10-star genius. At that moment, Liu Yun's fingers, which were busily swiping across the bright screen, suddenly stopped. She spoke up. This is..." Principal Wang quickly interrupted. "What is it? Did you manage to pull up the real-time player level rankings for the instance?" Liu Yun shook her head. "No. The data feedback shows that in the 9 o'clock direction of the instance between 12 and 12:30 there's data on multiple player deaths." His tone was casual. "What's strange about that? And player teams probably just ran into some tough monsters, that's all." She cut him off. "That's not it. The data analysis shows those deaths were caused by players from outside our city's district." Principal Wang was immediately stunned. "Players from outside our city's district. It seems the neighboring city is up to something again. Save all of this data. Every city's rookie instance is a competition to see who finishes first. Our Xuanjing Academy is always ranked last, so we've become an easy target. To be bullied in some people's eyes. What's the current status of our students' instance progression?" Liu Yun slowly explained. "The instance progress is quite good. Most of the teleportation zones have been captured by the students. Real-time instance footage shows that some of the stronger players have gathered large forces to start conquering the instance's bosses. The one leading the charge is the son of the Zhang family, Zhang Tong, an 8-star magic swordsman." Principal Wang's voice was deep. "As expected, he's full of potential. I remember just a few hours ago, Zhang Tang was only a level 6 player on the rankings. The final boss of the rookie instance is usually level 12, and now he's leading such a large army. I'm guessing his level must be close to 10 by now. I hope he can defeat the boss soon and bring some glory to our academy." A subordinate hurriedly spoke up. "The real-time ranking data has finished analyzing. Just as you predicted, Principal Zhang Tang's level is now 9, about to hit 10. He's tied for first place on the real-time rankings." The principal was startled with surprise. "Tied for first, the other person must be Yan Zi, right?" A subordinate quickly nodded. "That's right, but right behind them in second and third place are both female students. They are Gui Zhao, a level 7 summoner, and Zhang Yun Qing, a level 8 soul healer, respectively." Principal Wang spoke in a low voice. "I didn't expect the female students to be so capable. Have you seen Su Ming? Help me check what level Su Ming is right now." Liu Yun replied, "Student Su Ming does not appear on the player rankings." A subordinate suddenly widened his eyes in shock. "This is..." The principal spoke urgently. "Have you found him yet? What level is he?" The subordinate quickly replied, "Level 2. The principal's eyes widened in disbelief. The subordinate continued, "The data shows that after he got his first kill, his level hasn't increased since. System notification successfully defeated the elite thorn-toothed beast. Congratulations, you have leveled up to level 14. Hidden equipment set unlocked." Gui Zhao quickly spoke up. "In just over 2 hours of monster hunting, we've already leveled up several times." Yan Zi couldn't help but be amazed. "I'm already level 10, I can go challenge the instance boss now." Su Ming spoke coolly. "The reason we were able to level up so quickly is thanks to Zhang Yunqing and her experience-boosting skill." She chuckled and added, "It's all thanks to Su Ming for giving me such a powerful skill." Gui Zhao continued excitedly, "This is great! Our team is really outstanding now. We have Yunqing to boost experience and provide healing support Yanzi for precise long-range attacks, and I can summon my cute little ones to shield you all. Most importantly, we have a formidable player like Su Ming leading us." He replied coolly, "Don't be polite. It's all thanks to everyone's own strength. I'm just reaping the benefits." She immediately held out her arm. "Huh? Su Ming, are you being sarcastic with us? If you hadn't come to save me and Yan Zhe, we would have died by Li Chenguang's blade by now." Gui Zhao then recalled the moment Su Ming arrived just in time to rescue them. Gui Zhao's tone softened. "Back then, when you fought Li Chenguang Su Ming, you were just too powerful, too cool, too dominant. I believe that with this lineup, we can definitely clear the instance boss with ease." He suddenly knelt. "Gui Zhao, you're not wrong, but unfortunately my targets aren't those normal bosses. What I want to challenge is the hidden boss, which is even stronger." System notification: the elite thorn-toothed beast dropped the item Wave Key. Su Ming's voice was low. "To find the hidden boss of the rookie instance, we first have to solve 3 riddles. They are guided by the instance data, and we have to collect 3 corresponding items." The system displayed Riddle 1: when the silver moon peeks over the coast of the deep blue waves, parting the red armor sleeping in the heart of the icy abyss. Su Ming immediately looked up. The trigger point is a silver moon hanging high. A rookie instance doesn't have weather effects. Therefore, to find a silver moon in this instance, there can only be one place where a plant grows in the shape of a moon. His gaze slowly shifted behind him. So behind this lake, the moon suddenly began to glow. Is where the hidden boss is. The system displayed Riddle 2. When the lake turns to frost, take the iris petal as your guide. Beneath the settled sand, the armor still keeps its old promise. Tamin continued speaking. As soon as I entered the dungeon, I managed to collect the iris petal activation item, then used the clue from Riddle 3 combined with the water wave key. The system displayed Riddle 3. Hold the key, shine it upon the lake's bottom. 9 waves intertwine, wrapping around the stone. The knight rests on his sword, awaiting the dawn. Shatter the murky waves. The key, made of a layer of sparkling ice, suddenly lit up. Tamin said coolly, "It worked." Gui Zhao couldn't help but ask in amazement, "How in the world did you solve these riddles?" A whirlpool was now forming before their eyes. A vortex had appeared in the lake. With the contract as my guide, with the starlight as my call. Just then, a dark figure with glowing red pupils appeared in the water. Tamin announced loudly, "Night, slumbering in the cold abyss and azure waves break the boundary." A system notification appeared. "Warning, hidden boss has appeared." The system continued, "Guardian of the lake, the lost knight. Nguyen Trek has joined the party. Gui Zhao has joined the party." The system announced further, "Tamin is now the party leader." He spoke in a low voice. "Everyone prepare for battle." A system notification read, "Hidden boss challenge begins." Just like that, 15 minutes flew by. Another system notification appeared. The red-armored knight is searching for a target for its vengeance. Right now, they were all silently hiding in the bushes. Nguyen Trak said hesitantly, "Hey, I'm just saying, is it really okay to keep hiding like this?" Van Than added with an awkward laugh, "Or maybe we should try again." Not noticing the signal, she continued, "Team leader Tamin." He immediately pointed forward. "Look, how is that guy riding his horse so fast? How are we supposed to kill him?" System notification. Riding speed 500 points. Hidden boss, lost Night Guardian level 19. Strength 301 points. Stamina 250 points. Agility 250 points. Spirit 102 points. Luck 10 points. Speed 500 points. Heavy armor mastery level 5. Su Ming glared at the screen. 500 points of speed, the combined total speed of the 4 of us. Isn't even half of his. As he finished speaking, his eyes shifted to the side, glancing at the male students being chased below. What is that? Everything was perfectly calm, so where did this hidden boss come from? In the blink of an eye, those male students were annihilated. Yanzi suddenly spoke up. 3 teams near here have already been wiped out by the hidden boss. Yunqing replied, bewildered. We were the ones who summoned that hidden boss. We have to hurry. Gui Zhao suddenly rushed over. Su Ming, following your instructions, used up all of our team's mana potions. We finished setting up that delay trap. He quickly added, Gui Zhao, you did well. Yanzi Yunqing, proceed as planned. The two of them immediately acknowledged the order. Got it, Su Ming thought to himself. In my past life, I never challenged the new instance's hidden boss. Most awakeners wouldn't risk choosing to summon the hidden boss in a new instance right after awakening. It's a once-in-a-lifetime challenge. Not many people know the truth about the hidden boss in the new instance. The solution to the puzzle can only be found in a few vague records, but I've already written it down. I can't believe the hidden boss's equipment is a mount with 500 speed. Su Ming seemed to sense the approaching danger. If we're going to kill him. His arm suddenly shot out. We have to knock him off his horse. Just as that thought crossed his mind, Yan Zhe took action. Multi-burst strike. A volley of glowing arrows soared into the sky. The light pursued the red-armored knight. It quickly used its sharp blade to parry the attack. The knight's eyes suddenly glowed. Heavy armor mastery level 5. Yanzi thought to himself, this boss has heavy armor mastery level 5. My archery skills can't deal any damage to it at all. System notification. The Blood Lake Guardian has relocked its enemy target. Yanzi suddenly shouted down, Yun Qing, I've pulled the boss's aggro. She replied with a slight hesitation. Got it. With that, Yun Qing quickly fanned the flames in front of her. Su Ming thought, Step 1. Yanzi uses a precise long-range skill to draw the boss back. Step 2. Yun Qing creates smoke in the area the boss has to pass through when it turns back to obscure its vision. We learned this trick from the Goblin cave. At that moment, the knight was still charging deep into the forest. Suddenly, it stopped amidst the billowing clouds of smoke. The knight sensed something glance to the side, then abruptly looked down at the ground. Summon skeletons. Arcs of electricity filled the area. Activating delay trap system notification. Area of effect skill active. 3 minutes and 25 seconds remaining. Gui Zhao thought to herself, if Su Ming hadn't told me, I never would have known that a basic summoning skill could create a magical delay trap by combining multiple summoned monsters. But it seems it's still not enough to stop the knight's rampage. It suddenly stopped and looked up. Yun Qing quickly cast Soul Siphon Magic Delay. Su Ming looked down. Step 3. Use the trap. That Gui Zhao set up earlier to restrain the boss's horse combined with Yun Qing's slowing magic to simultaneously lock down the boss's movements. I have to admit, without their coordination. The skeletons were still swarming the area. A dark figure instantly appeared from behind. I'm not sure I could solo this boss. The space erupted into chaos with powerful skills. Su Ming gritted his teeth, his face filled with determination. He commanded in a firm tone, get off your horse. The two continued to struggle as the scene was torn to shreds. Yun Qing exclaimed, it worked. We knocked the boss off its horse. Gui Zhao retorted, don't relax yet, this is only the first phase. 10 minutes earlier, she had run up to Su Ming. Your plan is brilliant, but if we do this, both Yun Qing and I will be completely out of mana. Even if we succeed in knocking him down, there'll be no way to keep dealing damage to the boss afterward. Su Ming replied, it's fine, that's enough. He emphasized, when the time comes, just leave it to me. Then Su Ming slowly drew a sword. Let me. Finally, he gave a dangerous smile and rushed in to fight it one-on-one. A massive cloud of white smoke and dust enveloped the area. Su Ming soared into the air, using all his strength to pin it down. The boss on the other side refused to back down and close the distance. The two fought fiercely, dust flying everywhere. Yan Tong exclaimed, this is too intense to think Su Ming can go toe-to-toe with this hidden boss all by himself. I can't just stand here and watch. I can still use my skills, I have to go help. Just then, Gui Zhao put out a hand to stop her. Wait, Yan Tong. Su Ming told us to leave it to him. We have to trust him. We have our own jobs to do. Meanwhile, Su Ming was fighting fiercely. He used Shadow God Step. Su Ming unleashed a devastating slash. His eyes turned emotionless. SPD plus Su Ming spun around his sword, swinging powerfully again. He judged, too slow, I can't believe you are this slow after getting off your warhorse. The system's chime rang out repeatedly. Hidden boss lost knight, guardian of the lake. He sneered, is this really all the speed you have on your own? Su Ming continued to unleash a combo of attacks. His eyes were cold as he remarked, so this is all a hidden boss amounts to. Then, with a demonic smile, Su Ming moved. Time to die! He rained a continuous flurry of blows on its body. The boss quickly defended. Heavy armor plus. The battle between the two raged on relentlessly. System weapon durability at 7%. He thought, My sword's durability won't last. The damage has dropped sharply. This guy's heavy armor attribute is a real pain. Facing him were the boss's blazing eyes. It shot into the forest like a gust of wind. The boss scanned its surroundings, searching. Su Ming called out from above. "Looking for your warhorse." Clever, aren't we? You know damn well that speed is your only advantage on horseback, but too bad for you they've already taken your horse. His warhorse, restrained by you, screamed in agony. Gui Jiao warned, "Stop struggling. We're not letting you get away, Yun Than. Keep using your magic to slow down his struggling. Our mission to control this horse is crucial. This is what Tu Min entrusted to us. In the past, he instructed everyone, remember, if the plan succeeds and we force the boss off his horse, just leave the boss to me. You all have a critical mission." She was surprised. "A critical mission?" Tu Min ordered. "Get a good grip on the boss's horse. Don't let him get back on it again." Tu Min flew down from above, drawing his sword to slash. He landed on the ground, kicking up a huge gust of wind as his sword glowed with a blue light. Flowing water, gathering blade, he sized him up. "So you do have a few tricks up your sleeve, huh?" At the same time, the boss closed in on him and raised its sword. It unleashed a skill that sent him flying. Sandfall sword control. The system announced weapon durability at 3%. Tu Min quickly used his power to counterattack. He thought to himself, I can't waste any more weapon durability. Tu Min noticed that his opponent's armor was about to break. Intense red light enveloped the boss. Its eyes, now glowing a fiery red, narrowed in discomfort. Tu Min, his face grim, advanced step by step. Simultaneously, both sides unleashed their sword techniques. The point of impact created an explosion. The struggle was horrific. The boss grabbed his face with its hand. Tu Min spoke up. "This move," he declared confidently, "works just as well on players as it does on monsters." Then his body was enveloped in spirit energy. "Activating equipment set," Tu Min said. "I like this set." And then he moved like a phantom gliding past it. Tu Min unleashed a skill intending to tear apart the boss's sword control. Then he stepped back and calmly announced, "Armor broken." The system quickly reported, "Weapon durability depleted." And then Tu Min drew the shadow sword. He concluded, "It's over." The clock now showed 3:30 p.m. The scene quickly shifts to Huyen Kin Academy. The screen displays School Management Information Room. A voice from inside says, "You're finally here." Principal Vuong replies, "It seems you principals have been chatting in the information room for quite some time." The others replied, "We haven't been here long. You're the last one to arrive, Principal Vuong. What's wrong? Don't tell me none of your Huyen Kin Academy students are strong enough to challenge the dungeon boss yet. According to annual tradition, the clear results are usually announced one by one after 3 p.m. But Principal Vuong, your Huyen Kin Academy is always in last place every year, so I suppose you can take your sweet time. It doesn't matter if you're not in a hurry to get to the information room." Principal Vuong explained, "I'm late, not because of the dungeon, but because I received some real-time feedback data. A player who isn't from our school has secretly infiltrated Huyen Kin Academy's novice dungeon. We still haven't been able to clarify the true identity of that outside player. But I'm guessing it's just a student from one of the other 3 academies in the other cities sneaking over to cause trouble. Isn't that right, old Ta? Could it be you?" The data on the harmed students also recorded a student using blade skills. I hear the genius student from Vu. Duong Academy Lai Tram Quang is a master of blade weapons. The others shouted angrily, "Don't make baseless accusations if you don't have proof. Lai Tram Quang of our academy is still inside the novice dungeon right now. He's the key attacker challenging the final boss. I think they can clear it within the next half hour. Clear the dungeon. Our Donglong Academy already has 3 groups of students who've leveled up enough and are challenging the boss. Our Nam Quang Academy has also entered the fierce battle phase with the boss. As long as they perform as usual, the news of the clear will surely arrive soon." He thought to himself, "It seems the other academies are all having a smooth time challenging the boss. Right now, every second counts. If our academy doesn't get the first clear this year, then we'll only have 2 spots left for the Heaven Spire Assembly. And that's it. This is the lowest number we've ever had. Currently, the player closest to clearing the boss is student Trong Duong. All our hopes now rest on his strength." The time is now 3:15 p.m. Someone shouted, "Charge, don't hold anything back. Use every skill you have. Kill the final boss." They charged straight toward the monster in front of them. A pair of glowing red eyes appeared. It was the king of the forest raging Simba. Everyone quickly scattered in chaos. Those who couldn't withstand it started coughing up blood. Someone in the crowd recognized it and exclaimed, "Level 15. They thought to themselves, we're no match for it at all. Our level isn't high enough to successfully challenge it, is it?" Then someone charged forward thinking, "We've already come this far." Trongduong rushed forward thinking, "The reward for clearing the novice dungeon must be mine." The screen showed a conversation. "Nam, Trongduong, help me. Trong, what's wrong? Human, did that bastard Tamin cause trouble? Human, that little brat hurt me." Trongduong, "Where are you? I'll come find you." She pleaded, "Help me get revenge." He became determined to get the final reward and avenge Human. Zhang Tong was bewildered in this space filled with nothing but bones. He stood there looking at the strange sights. Staring at what was before him, he blurted out, "What's going on?" Zhang Tong fell into utter confusion. His eyes widened in utter astonishment. At the same time, the system displayed a notification, "Hidden boss defeated." Meanwhile, Su Ming showed a very determined smile. "It's over." Gui Zhao's group stood there watching in a daze. She happily exclaimed, "It's Su Ming! It has to be Su Ming! He successfully soloed it!" Inside the control room, a voice rang out, "We have results." Principal Wang was surprised. "Huh? They're saying Li Chenguang succeeded. It must be our Dongling Academy? Not necessarily, it could be our Nanjiang Academy." His face showed doubt. Just then, Principal Wang exclaimed in surprise, "That's..." The screen displayed the final results. Xuanjing Academy. The others started buzzing. "That's insane. A hidden boss. There's a hidden boss in the novice dungeon. Where did our Xuanjing Academy find a team powerful enough to kill a hidden boss? Wasn't the initiative with Zhang Tang's group? What a group of pros. This batch of our awakened students is just incredible." They started praising Su Ming continuously. "You're too amazing. Our levels shot up by 2 in an instant. System, congratulations. You have reached level 16. Su Ming called out, "Quick over here before the dungeon exit portal activates. Let's divide the rewards for killing the hidden boss." Yandong scratched his head shyly. I don't need any rewards. I'm already more than satisfied with the level up." Yunqing agreed. "Me too. Thank you, Su Ming, for saving my life." Gui Zhao continued with a chuckle. "From saving us from Li Chenguang's blade, to discovering the hidden boss's secret and finally soloing it to death. I really wasn't strong enough to help with anything. If I take a share of the loot on top of that, I really couldn't accept it." Just then, a notification arrived. Team Leader Distribution. Teammate Wei Zi has received the Loot Soul Suppressing Supply Crate. Team Leader Distribution. Teammate Zhang Yunqing has received the Loot Soul Necklace. Team Leader Distribution. Teammate Gui Zhao has received the Loot Summoning Scroll Blood Cult Necromancer. He reminded them, "As you can see, the rewards from this hidden boss include exclusive items specifically for each of your classes. This proves that I'm not the only one who recognizes you as part of the team that defeated the hidden boss. The Novice Dungeon recognizes you too. Without your help, it would have been impossible to complete this challenge." And then a mysterious voice echoed, "Congratulations to all challengers for clearing the F-rank dungeon, Frenzied Forest. Dungeon clear time 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Su Ming sighed. "The time has come. We're about to leave the dungeon. Behind you, every time a dungeon is completed, you enter the settlement phase. The contribution rewards for every player who challenged the dungeon will be added to their accounts. After a player clears the dungeon, a portal representing the exit will appear next to every surviving player. Congratulate yourselves. We're still alive. We cleared the challenge. Afternoon 4:30. Confirmed all players have left the dungeon." People started walking out. We made it out alive." "My sister isn't here." "My boyfriend either," Gui Zhao cried. "Our 5th-year class, only 10 of us came back." Someone else continued. "The survivors from our class. There are only 17 of us left." They spoke up one after another. "Of all my friends who went into the dungeon, I'm the only one who made it out alive. Me too. Me too." After the awakening, this is what the world becomes. Su Ming began to speak. "In a world ruled by the awakened, the strong prey on the weak, and the winner takes all. Only by constantly challenging ourselves and becoming stronger can we stand firm against the rules of this world. Some grieve for their lost comrades, family, and lovers, but others are overjoyed by the rewards of power and money. This absurd and insane world. Principal Wong appeared on the screen. Congratulations, students, on surviving and successfully clearing the novice dungeon. For you, all this was the first trial. You had to face after awakening and entering the world of the awakened, and this is also the final lesson that the Academy has prepared for you as your graduation exam. So I hope you students will remember that being an awakened doesn't simply mean possessing power, money, and fame. It also represents the responsibility to love and maintain peace. Those of you who have lost loved ones, please remember this pain and grief, this suffering. Those who achieved victory should also remember this responsibility and the goal you pursue. Guizhao asked curiously, Su Ming, what about you? So many of our classmates have died in this world so full of rules. Are you feeling sad or happy? His voice rang out. I hope that all of you will find your own worth on the path of awakening. He replied, those classmates will be revived. Principal Wong announced, only when you complete this lesson. Can you truly understand the meaning of the newbie dungeon? Your deceased classmates, relatives, and loved ones will be revived within 30 minutes. Everyone was bewildered. For real. They will return to your side from within the dungeon. Hearing those words, she couldn't help but be stunned. To Min Guizhao asked, puzzled, how do you know everything? The system's voice rang out. Dungeon statistics complete. It continued. Entering reward settlement phase. The system introduced player Lai Kwang Yin. Then it continued. Player Tongjok slayed elite sharp-clawed hairless cat ×1. Next, player Jiang Tuvu slayed monkey head ×33. A large line of text was emphasized by the system to Min. Looking at the large text, a cold voice rang out, Player to Min, you're late. While Principal Wong was still muttering to himself triumphantly, two men slowly approached the citywide school rankings for the newbie dungeon from behind. Student to Min is at the top. He scratched his head and said softly, I overslept. The dazzling words hit their eyes, Huyankin City newbie dungeon level rankings. Tamin spoke up, if the newbie dungeon is over, then that means my school life has also come to an end. In his heart, I don't need to be modest anymore. It won't be a problem even if I don't change my info. After all, the gap between me and my classmates is about to become worlds apart. He glanced down, emphasizing each word. I said, look down. Principal Wang was hugging his leg tightly. He felt helpless. How much longer are you going to hug me? Principal Wang's eyes shone brightly. Thank you, Tamin, he cried, tears of joy. Although I don't know how you did it. You helped us. Huyankin Academy has been at the bottom for so many years, and now we've finally escaped it. He continued, do you have any idea? After the information was announced that old Ta from Voduang Academy was left completely speechless. Before every time our schools met, he'd love to mess with me. We'll see what he dares to say now. Our academy is #1 among the 4 neighboring cities. Tamin, you are the top-ranked student from the academy dungeon level across all academies. He asked curiously. Then what rank is that Lai Tam Kwang from Voduang Academy? He replied, that Li Tam Kwang, that so-called blade maniac genius everyone admires, only managed to get 3rd place among all the academies to Min. He gave a triumphant smile towards Principal Wong. Principal Wong asked with curiosity, I heard an unexpected incident happened midway through that caused him to be seriously injured, and it slowed down the time he had left to defeat the boss. That's right. Tamin, how did you manage to kill the hidden boss? Even if you have a 10-star talent, you're still just a sword master, a class that's weak in the early stages. From what I know about you, you don't come from a wealthy or noble family, and you don't have enough money to buy god-tier equipment. And yet you were able to skip levels and kill the hidden boss? He sighed in admiration. In all my years as principal, I've never seen a student as outstanding as you. In short, it couldn't have been because of those items. I gave you as an extra after you awakened, right? Those things were only enough to give your combat ability a slight boost. Tamin replied perfunctorily, it was luck. Luck. Because you were lucky enough to get a lot of useful items and skills, he asked with curiosity. This newbie dungeon has that many powerful items and treasures? He chuckled and continued, and of course I also met some amazing teammates. In his heart, there's no way I can tell him, and that I was reborn. He said, without their help, I wouldn't have been able to kill that hidden boss either. Principal Wang was extremely satisfied, nodding in approval. Is that so? It seems that not only are you an outstanding awakened to Min, but you're also a capable leader. He continued, That's right. The other students also came to receive the top 5 awards this morning. Student Kui Jiao. That girl kept exaggerating how great you were after she joined your team and saw how powerful you are. Tamin calmly replied, Kui Jiao texted me this morning asking me to go with her, but I refused. He remembered Kui Jiao's words when she was fighting Li Tam Kwang. Tamin is so cool, so powerful. He thought, I knew she would praise me to the high heavens. It's so embarrassing. She's always loved to compliment others just like before. Suddenly, something was thrown at him. Principal Wang shouted, Tamin, catch! This is your Sky Tower Association token! Tamin reached out and caught it. On the token was the character for Sky. He smiled confidently and said, Thank you for your outstanding performance in winning first place. It made even the vice mayor, who initially looked down on our Huyankin Academy, allocate more tokens to our academy from the others. This year, our school secured 5 token slots. I've distributed them to you, student Kui Jiao, a student, Ngim Truk student Zhang Van Tan, and also student Trong Duong. Tamin smiled happily, listening intently as he spoke. It's time for me to explain to you all the importance of the Sky Tower Association token. Tamin glanced outside. You don't need to explain. I understand perfectly. In his heart, the Sky Tower Association is, you could say, the place most newly awakened. A dream of going to. When an awakened successfully challenges and completes the newbie dungeon, they are considered to have graduated from the academy and have officially entered the world of the awakened because most people can only train by starting from low-level dungeons, then gradually challenging their way up one steady, solid step at a time. The thoughts rushed through his mind. But the risk is high and the progress is slower, he continued to think. However, this Sky Tower Association qualification, so unlike others, whoever holds the Heavenly Tower Society token gets a faster training path. Even though the challenges inside are very diverse, the rewards for improving are great. They're both plentiful and quick to get. In my previous life, I wasn't even qualified to join the Heavenly Tower Society from the start. Su Ming looked up, lost in thought. This made it impossible for me in the early stages to create a significant gap between myself and most other players. The resources I got after they were split up weren't enough. But this life is different. I'm going to seize every good opportunity. I will prepare well for the future. Seeing him dazed, Principal Wang quickly spoke up. Su Ming, he continued. Congratulations, you have officially graduated from the Xuanjing Awakening Academy. As if placing his great hopes in him, the principal spoke about the challenges to come. It won't be like the novice dungeon where you can revive if you fail. The trials you'll face in the future will only give you one single chance. These are all gambles that could cost you your lives. Su Ming listened intently, lost in thought, then looked into the principal's deep eyes. Principal Wang gave a kind smile. Extending a hand towards him, he said, I hope that you, a potential genius, can have a bright future and contribute to this world. Su Ming was incredibly excited. He broke into a happy smile and reached out to shake Principal Wang's hand. Thank you, Principal. The principal replied, I understand. In Xuanjing City's wealthy district, warm sunlight shone on luxurious interwoven white and gold walls. Suddenly a door was pushed open forcefully from the outside. A large figure stepped inside. An excited voice called out, Yunqing! The man rushed in to pull her into a tight hug. You're amazing, my child. You returned safely from the novice dungeon. And you even got 3rd place in the academy. It seems Xiaolan found you some very skilled helpers. Zhang Lan interjected, but unfortunately the credit isn't mine this time. It was an awakened student named Su Ming who helped Yunqing out. Hearing this, the man was stunned and utterly confused. Yunqing spoke up to confirm. That's right, Dad. The helpers my sister hired carelessly fell into the monster's trap. I almost failed in the dungeon myself, but luckily my classmate Su Ming showed up. He saved me, she continued. Not only did he save me, he also gave me lots of skill books and equipment and even helped me level up to clear the dungeon. He's a very formidable challenger, Zhang Lan continued. That Su Ming person. I had tried to find him right at the beginning to help Yunqing. There was some disagreement. No matter how much money I offered, he wouldn't agree. She glanced towards Yunqing. But I never expected they'd be fated to run into each other inside the dungeon. We really have to thank him this time. The man scratched his head. It seems you two have a very high opinion of this student. Looks like I'll have to find some time to thank him properly. The man spoke up. Besides, from what you two have said, this awakened person is really impressive. I'd like to get to know him a bit. Xiaolan, please help me find his contact information. He said in an excited voice. To celebrate Yunqing successfully completing the dungeon, I've decided to invite the best chef to cook for you two today. With that, he didn't hesitate and immediately picked up the phone to make a call. Hello, I'm busy right now. Any urgent meetings or whatever? Reschedule all of them for me. It's unclear what was said on the other end, but his voice turned to panic. What? He then rushed outside. Explain it to me clearly. A worried voice came from the other end of the line. Chairman, in the last 2 days we've discovered that someone has sent assassins to kill many of our people. The man was terrified. Do you know who's behind this? The voice from the other end of the line made him freeze on the spot. It's the Zhang family. 2 days later, a voice came from a phone. Su Ming, the plan is to head out today. We're all heading to the Heavenly Tower world together. You can't do this mission alone this time. Su Ming happily agreed. I know. I've already found and prepared everything I need these past 2 days. Just wait for me to get there and meet up with everyone. The person on the other end continued, All right, we'll be waiting for you. After hanging up, his expression turned grim. The Heavenly Tower Society. He recalled Principal Wang's words. To go to the Heavenly Tower Society, Su Ming just needed to use his token. He calculated in his head, I just need to summon a portal to the destination. Su Ming mused, this portal? Only those who possess a Heavenly Tower Society token are qualified to enter. He took out the token given to him by Principal Wang. Summon token. A piercing voice rang out, followed by a strange light. Qualified user confirmed. A portal appeared. Su Ming said with an excited voice. It opened. He stepped through, gracefully chuckling to himself. A new challenge. The Heavenly Tower Society. He immediately arrived in another city. I've arrived. A blinding blue light appeared in the sky, and soon after the scene of a different city emerged. Su Ming cautiously poked his head out, looking around with a probing gaze. Su Ming stepped out of the portal and strode forward. So this is the place. He said aloud, the 100-story tower, the domain of the Heavenly Tower Society. He thought to himself, in my previous life it was only by a fortunate coincidence much, much later that I even had the chance to come here. It seems many challengers from all over the country have received tokens and are being teleported here in droves. I can finally challenge this place again. I'm starting to get excited now. With that thought, he took out the token Principal Wang had given him. A system voice rang out, Heavenly Tower token confirmation successful. The door slowly opened, and the scene inside left Su Ming stunned. The system displayed a message, New challenger, please proceed to the first floor hall and wait for the ceremony to begin. Min silently thought, why is this main hall so different from my past life? Min looked up at the ceiling's ancient architecture. Then he scanned his surroundings, his gaze more scrutinizing. The familiar voice of Kui Zhao caught his attention as she approached with a group of friends. You're finally here, Min spoke up. Kui Zhao and Gimtrek and Van Tan too. He continued, you guys got here early. Kui Zhao retorted, early? What are you talking about? We've been here for ages. Min. Why do you always have to act like a lone wolf? He asked back. Didn't I message you guys to meet here today? He continued, I'm just saying, did you all come here together? Kui Zhao replied, of course, we've been waiting for you for a long time. So have you all become friends? Of course. After everything we went through in the tutorial dungeon, we're all good friends and allies now. Van Than, say something, huh? That's right. She seemed quite annoyed and criticized him. Besides, from Xuanjing Academy, we're the only ones who qualified for the Sky Tower Guild. Who knows what could happen if we act together? We can look out for each other. From a distance, a loud voice boomed, Did you guys forget about me? A large hand pointed straight at Min. Especially you. Truong Duong angrily charged forward, yelling at them. Min! A murmur went through the crowd. Look, someone's starting a fight. How can he start a fight here? Kui Zhao said worriedly. Student Truong Duong, what's wrong with you? Like an uncontrollable beast, he roared madly. This is about you injuring Human. I'm going to settle the score with you today, you bastard. Does he really want to fight? You were real good at hiding during the tutorial dungeon. So much so that I could never find you, he continued. I can't believe you qualified for the Sky Tower Guild, too. Kui Zhao asked curiously, what happened with Human? He seemed to completely ignore her. Well, this is perfect. I'll deal with you right here and now. Just then, To Min spoke up. Don't worry, Trong Duong. All the trouble that you and Nam Human caused. We can't settle that here today. Warning! Conflict detected. Fighting is not permitted in this area. Truong Duong was restrained, his eyes wide, unable to utter a word. All disruptive behavior within the Sky Tower Guild is forbidden. He screamed frantically. To Min, don't you dare run. You just wait. To Min's voice was cold. There are people watching from above. Trong Duong will settle this after the Sky Tower Guild event is over. People started whispering. So even though it seems like there's no one here to greet us, we're actually being monitored. This Sky Tower Guild is no simple matter, just as I thought. Tram Kwang stared at To Min with a sharp, cold gaze. The conversation continued. You all follow me. First, take this challenger to the infirmary. Why are we over here, To Min? The ceremony hasn't even started. Shouldn't we wait for it to begin before we read the Sky Tower Guild's challenge instructions? To Min replied. We don't need to get in line or look at any guides. That stuff is just for the first-timers. The real secret here is these seats, Kui Jiao asked curiously. To Min, is this really your first time here? He replied, What do you think? All you have to do is sit quietly in these seats for a bit. Her eyes widened in confusion. To Min said slowly, The Sky Tower Guild's selection system is about to appear. She was shocked. For real. System welcome new candidates to the Sky Tower Guild entrance trial, the 100-floor tower challenge. A buzz went through the crowd. So it's a tower climbing challenge after all. I got it too. Game track, let's hurry up and sit down. The number of floors we complete in the 100-floor tower will directly determine our evaluation rank when we join the guild later. Kui Jiao heard this and asked curiously, a tower climbing competition? To Min responded, that's right. The higher the floor you clear, the higher your final rank will be. Of course, if we all conquer the same number of floors, then the final rank, whether high or low, will be determined by the time taken to climb the tower and the difficulty of the challenges each participant faces. She hesitated. So the climbing time is also part of the evaluation. So right now he smiled. Exactly. We can get a head start on everyone else. That whole ceremony is actually the Sky Tower Guild's way of testing our powers of observation and adaptability. If you just wait for the ceremony to end and then go look at the instructions, you'll already be a step behind. What they want to see is a challenger's ability to observe their surroundings, find a solution, and seize the initiative. So are the three of you planning to team up with me again for the tower climb, just like in the tutorial dungeon? Van Than answered, Of course we are. All right, follow me. To Min, you make us feel really at ease. The entry tokens for the Sky Tower Guild are limited, so even with my family's money, there was no way to hire help. Suddenly, Ngimtrak cut in. To Min, this time To Min shot a quick glance at him. Ngimtrak smiled and continued, I'm not going to be on your team anymore. She asked in surprise, Huh? Why? He explained that in the novice dungeon, when we killed the hidden boss, Su Ming was pretty much the main force. We just tagged along behind him and still managed to level up so high. We're really relying too much on Su Ming's strength. With his power, he's definitely going to chase after much higher challenges. I don't want to drag you down. I also want to rely on my own strength to train and become stronger. Gui Jiao agreed. Yanze is right. To be honest, we also need some real training to guarantee our chances of winning the challenges. This time, besides Su Ming, the three of us will form a team for the challenge. Okay? Yun Qing looked bewildered. Huh, he agreed. I'm in. He then asked Yun Qing, Will you agree to go with us? And then, with tears welling up in her eyes, she was moved and said, Okay, I agree. I also have to learn how to rely on my own abilities to get stronger. So it's decided. Su Ming chooses to take on the tower climbing challenge by himself, while the rest of us will form a 3-person team to go. Challenge the tower climb. Chen Guang, who was eavesdropping nearby, thought, So that's what's happening. He thought to himself, Su Ming, you 10-star. Our showdown isn't over yet. System, team selection has been completed. The 100-floor tower challenge is starting. Su Ming spoke up. I'm going on ahead. Everyone do your best to get a good score. Gui Jiao cheered. Go for it, Su Ming, Yanza added. We'll do our best, too. After that, a shimmering portal of light opened, and his small body gently stepped out from the barrier. System display challenger Su Ming. Su Ming's gaze was serious. This familiar feeling? An information panel for the opponent appeared. First floor challenge, you will face the enraged one. He looked at it and smirked. Easy as pie. Suddenly a strange creature appeared in the space. He stared blankly at the strange thing approaching him. Qingyuan Roadrunner. Su Ming was stunned. Why is this challenge different from my past life? Its feet were sharp with menacing claws. The long feathers of its tail stood straight up and its bright red comb couldn't hide its shimmering luster. But then the Qingyuan chicken was grabbed tightly by Su Ming's hand. He spoke out, "The first floor monster. Why is it a chicken? I remember from my past life when I challenged this place. The monster I encountered on the first floor was a level 5 monster called the Vicious Purple-Furred Tiger. This challenge is completely different from my past life. Is the 100-floor tower calling me a chicken or something? But this chicken's level is a weird question mark. What's this supposed to mean?" Su Ming looked at it and said angrily, "I guess I just have to finish this fast." Suddenly, the Qingyuan chicken struggled, startling him. Su Ming's eyes widened in shock as he quickly dodged. The Qingyuan chicken was running wild all over the place. He gritted his teeth, his body staggering from the force. Su Ming's eyes were wide as he watched this chicken. Across from him, the Qingyuan chicken looked furious, its eyes burning with a dangerous fire. Then it charged. He assessed, "This isn't simple." An announcement rang out, "The initiation for this batch of newcomers to the 100-floor tower challenge has now concluded. Next, we will begin the introduction to this term's 100-floor tower teleportation challenge." Someone was bewildered. That's the first place screen, challenger number 002. People started murmuring, "What?" The floor rankings for the challenge have already appeared on the leaderboard. Someone's already started climbing the tower. How is that possible? The briefing just ended. First place. Number 002. Li Chengguang has cleared the second floor. The top ranker is that 10-star genius from Wuyang City, Blade Fiend Li Chengguang. Meanwhile, Su Ming's hand slowly drew his weapon. He charged forward, attacking the Qingyuan chicken fiercely. Not backing down, it also lunged forward, its eyes burning with fire. The Qingyuan chicken used a continuous pecking move to attack Su Ming. Su Ming used Shadow Step. The attack speed of this skill is as fast as a bullet. He leaped high into the air with great speed. As Su Ming attacked, the Qingyuan chicken dodged. He silently assessed, its explosive power is also very strong. Suddenly, its body began to move in a fluid, continuous motion. The ground was torn up by the attacks of the two. The chicken's body, the Qingyuan chicken, suddenly glowed with a strange light, but luckily Su Ming managed to block its attack. He remarked, "This attack is too fierce. My current practical skills, sword draw, slash and sword control, are ineffective in this situation. I need to find a breakthrough. If I let this drag on, the fight will just get longer. My advantage from entering the tower early will be wasted. In that case, maybe I can try using the skill I got from defeating the hidden boss in the novice dungeon." Also, the new skill. The Qingyuan chicken's expression was extremely fierce. It saw Su Ming advancing on it with his sword. Then he slashed down with a single strike, sending the chicken's body flying high into the air. It hastily landed far away, creating distance between them. Su Ming smiled. "This is the moment. You have to land sometime." Over where the Qingyuan chicken was, the ground beneath it was enveloped in light. He unleashes his powerful technique. Sword Tomb Systems sword skill, giant sword of the sunken tomb. It crashes down, shaking to Min's tiny body amidst a massive cloud of smoke. It's a success, but a black shadow diving from above startles him. Min looks at it helpless. How did it not get hit? This isn't over yet. It looks like a normal chicken, but its power is nothing like the usual opponents on the first floor. Suddenly, Min realizes, wait a minute. He asks himself, is this a normal chicken in front of me? The Qingyuan chicken is flapping its wings, charging straight for him, its face dark and emotionless. Suddenly, Min lowers his sword and draws on the ground. That action makes the Qingyuan chicken recoil in fear. Min uses his sword to draw a line for the chicken binding art. He remarks, "Just as I thought. In the end, it's still just..." Min confidently unleashes his move. A normal chicken. System. Congratulations. You have successfully cleared the first stage. He commented, a chicken with power far beyond a typical first stage opponent. This wasn't a test of my strength, but my intellect. The 100-floor tower in this life is truly interesting. Right now, rank 1 is Li Chengguang, so that guy is here too. Leaderboard information rank 2 number 002, Li Chengguang. Min deduced, other challengers have also started climbing the tower. It seems my time advantage is already gone. Suddenly, Tamin speaks softly. Very good. This has ignited my fighting spirit. This tower climbing speed race, I'm determined to win. System. All rules have been fully explained to everyone. Finally, the method to log in and challenge the 100-floor tower is to return to the event venue. The chairs on both sides are designated as self-registration points for challengers. The announcer's voice rang out. There's no time to delay. Challengers, please take your seats. The crowd grumbled. So it starts this simply. Isn't this a trap? Another long and boring opening ceremony. We should probably just sit through it quietly. We were completely fooled by the opening ceremony. Hurry up, find a seat. In this competition, every second counts. We could have rushed the tower through these seats from the very beginning. No wonder that blade maniac Li Chengguang is already on the leaderboard. How did he know everyone look at the tower climbing leaderboard? Finally, the screen displayed rank 1 number 002 Li Chengguang. Floors cleared 6. Someone complained, that Li Chengguang guy has already cleared 6 floors. Huh. A new name just appeared on the leaderboard. It's a challenger squad. The screen updated rank 1 number 002 Li Chengguang. Floors cleared 6. Rank 2 number 003, number 004, number 005. Squad leader Gui Zhao. Floors cleared 4. They buzzed. So many people have figured out the chairs are related to the login area. Hey, there's another new name, and their ID is number 001. The very first challenger to log in, someone said, looking at the big screen hesitantly. But the screen showed rank 3 number 001 God of Slaughter. Floors cleared 1. Someone exclaimed, God of Slaughter. Is that a title? A system window appeared. Reward for successfully clearing the first floor received. Reward set your own title. Tamin wondered, set my own title. Title number 001. Floor 2 space. He wondered to himself, what's the point of this title I clearly remember in this life? After I killed the first floor's gatekeeper monster, the so-called reward was a small wooden chest that contained something like a healing potion. But a title. Prompt, please enter your desired title. Tamin analyzed. It feels like a lot of things have changed in this life. Is it because I was reborn? Well, no helping it. In that case, I might as well make the most of it. Then his hands flew across the keyboard. He thought, I'll use my profession from my past life as my title, God of Slaughter. A notification appeared, title content accepted. Challenger ID number 001 to mine. The 100-floor tower challenge screen displayed God of Slaughter. He realized, so the title replaces my name, huh? The gatekeeper boss screen appeared, God of Slaughter. Tamin smiled, satisfied. That suits me perfectly. Immediately after, a new monster appeared. Flying Bat, level 3. Its eyes blazed, radiating immense power. But then the Flying Bat's body was instantly slashed to pieces. With just one sword, Tamin had unleashed terrifying power. Outside the leaderboard showed rank 3, number 001. God of Slaughter, floors cleared 2. The other players were astonished. It's only been a minute and that God of Slaughter guy has already cleared 2 floors. The scene shifted to the 3rd floor. Giant Demon Assassin, level 5. But it too was quickly defeated by Tamin. The mechanical voice rang out once more, 3rd floor cleared. Next location, floor 4. 3-eyed carnivorous plant, level 6. In the blink of an eye, this monster was also dispatched. The others watched in awe. He's incredible. That God of Slaughter's climbing speed is insane. The screen showed rank 2 number 003, number 004, number 005. Squad leader Gui Zhao, floors cleared 5. Rank 3 number 001. God of Slaughter, floors cleared 4. They exclaimed, it hasn't even been 10 minutes and he's already cleared 2 more floors and is closing in on rank 2. Leaderboard update rank 1 number 002 Li Chengguang. Floors cleared 8. But that guy in first place, Li Chengguang, isn't taking it lying down, someone said in shock. He's already broken through to the 8th floor. Meanwhile, Tamin mused, that blade maniac already passed 8 floors, huh? Suddenly, Tamin cracked a bewitching smile. What an interesting pace. I wasted so much time on the 1st floor. I'll just consider it giving you a head start. He decided, from now on, I'm going all out. Challenger space 001, floor 5-3, headed saber-toothed hound level 7, Tamin said aloud. I can't wait for you to step out of that door anymore. In the end, all that was left in the space were the remains of defeated monsters. The scene shifts to Guijiao's squad.
"We've successfully cleared the 6th floor," she began. "Phew, that was a close one. Use my summoned creature as the vanguard. Yanzi, you're responsible for dealing full damage. Yunqing."
You're responsible for crowd control and healing. Our coordination is getting better and better. Yun Qing reminded them, "Guys, look quickly, this is—" Everyone immediately turned to look at her. Yun Qing reported, "To Min, he's climbing the tower at an incredible speed. On the ranking screen, 2nd place 001 Killer God. Floors cleared. 7 floors. 3rd place 003, 004, 005. Squad Captain Gui Jiao. Floors cleared 6 floors." She looked on in admiration. "He's already surpassed us so quickly." Meanwhile, Shen Guang was also fighting relentlessly. The system notified him that he had cleared the 9th floor. Shen Guang thought, so the monsters on the 9th floor are finally starting to feel a little threatening, huh? But it's still not difficult for me. Next up is the 10th floor. According to the rules, the first person to clear floor 10 gets an extra reward. Based on the rankings, I just saw that Killer God is the one climbing the ranks so quickly. It must be that sword master Tomin. Although I have no idea why it took him so long to clear the 1st floor when he was the first to enter. But even if he's picking up speed now, he can't be faster than me. That bonus reward for clearing the 10th floor is as good as mine. Suddenly his eyes filled with panic. The screen that appeared left Shen Guang stunned. The scene shifts to Challenger Space 001, the 10th floor. A new monster appeared, Minotaur of Rage level 15. Outside, a commotion was brewing. Why are there more and more people watching the leaderboard? Aren't you guys going to climb the tower?
It's fine if we start climbing a little late.
There's no way we can catch up to their speed anyway. Look, 2 people are challenging the 10th floor. I'm dying to know who's faster, that Killer God guy or the genius Blade Fiend Li Shenguang. I'm betting on Killer God is faster. I think that Li Shenguang guy is better. Meanwhile, Tu Min was fighting the Minotaur, relentlessly attacking it with his sword. Suddenly, Tu Min spoke up. "What's wrong? Can't take it anymore already." He sneered, "You only lasted 30 seconds. Your weakness is just fueling my tower climb." A provocative glint appeared in Tu Min's eyes. "Now offer up the last of your strength." He unleashed his technique Sword Wrath. System notification. You have cleared the 10th floor. Congratulations on being the first challenger to clear the 10th floor of the 100-story tower this year. You have received a bonus reward. Elsewhere, a soft light appeared. A female nurse reported pulse is still normal. She looked at the patient in surprise. "Huh. You're awake." Zhang Tong woke up in a hospital room. A nurse explained, "The patient who was electrocuted for causing a disturbance inside the 100-story tower has woken up." A thought popped into his head. Wow, the nurses here are really stacked. No. The only one in my heart is human. Suddenly, Zhang Tang's expression changed. Human. To Min. He stared blankly at the screen. Revenge. Hall 1. A lone figure. All challengers for this session who received a token from the Sky Tower Association have already departed to climb the 100-story tower. Zhang Tong put his hands on his head and started pulling at his hair, his emotions in turmoil. What do I do? I've fallen way too far behind most of the others. Forget avenging Human, my level definitely can't keep up with Tamin's anymore. I was too reckless. I shouldn't have been so rash back then. It's that bastard Tamin again. He definitely knew the rules here in advance. He set me up. I have to think of a new plan. I'm the young master of the Zhang family, for crying out loud. Just then an idea struck him. I've got it. It doesn't matter if I can't catch up to their levels. But I absolutely have to deal with that guy Tamin, even if it means using the power of my family. He tapped on his phone and sent a message. I won't regret it. System report Zhang Tang is using family connections. Help me kill someone. Zhang Tang smirked. This is the only way. I didn't want things to come to this either. But Tamin, you forced my hand. The nurses told me I just have to sit down to activate the tower climbing system. Now, let's see the rankings. There are already over 100 people on the leaderboard. I don't see 2 men up there. Second place cleared 16 floors. That's Li Shenguang from Wuyang Academy. That guy, as expected, he's just as formidable outside of the academy, huh? Looking at the screen, Zhang Tang was startled. Who is this killer god in 1st place? The screen showed rank 1001, Killer God.
Floors cleared 18. He muttered to himself, that doesn't sound like a person's name. Meanwhile, to model, Tu Ming was still fighting monsters to level up. The space thrown into chaos by the power of both sides warped as the creature attacked him step by step. Tu Ming dodged backward with his weapon, his eyes still tracking it. Suddenly, he gave a cold smile. The tower climber had finally reached this point. Facing its berserk state, he told himself that at his current level it was indeed a bit of a struggle. Besides, the mechanics of the gatekeeper monsters were becoming more and more complex. The monster's main body was buried in the ground, revealing an extremely hard purple crystal on top of the buried corpse, which it used to continuously release minions onto the surface to attack. These annoying little monsters also possessed a defense as strong as the purple crystal, just relying on his previous silver-grade weapon. It wouldn't be easy to break their defense. Then Tu Ming smiled faintly, but thankfully he had the supplementary gold-grade sun weapon, a reward for players who completed the first 10 floors. Then, by using his sublimation of all things talent, he upgraded the gold-grade sun weapon to Sun Platinum, unlocking the Blackstone Fisher composite sword in his hands. It requires level 18 to be used, a system for the Blackstone Fisher composite sword, a dual weapon of a longsword and a short sword. He judged that using the longsword would significantly increase the weapon's slashing damage attribute, but at the same time it would sacrifice a bit of speed. However, it's not ideal for dealing with a large number of enemies, so the system activated the short blade weapon attribute. Tu Ming concluded that although the attack power was weaker, when combined with his other talent, Primal Sword Body, the system reminded him that Primal Sword Body enhances all his weapons. He mused that this would allow for both speed and attack power. The scene takes place in Challenger 002's Space Floor 17. The chaotic battlefield was shrouded in thick smoke. Chen Guang was desperately trying to attack it. He gritted his teeth as his health bar continuously dropped. The monster before him was a level 18 demonic treant. Chen Guang thought, I've reached my limit. This monster's weakness is fire, but since I chose to grind solo, I don't have any fire skills to counter it. Plus, my level is lagging behind. The most annoying thing is that I still haven't received any rewards. That would effectively boost my stats after clearing a stage. A moment later, he looked at the screen. Congratulations, you have cleared floor 10, received silver-grade sun reward. Chen Guang wondered if it was because he lost to Tu Ming in the tower climbing race that he had no choice but to accept a normal silver-grade reward. What's even unluckier is that among the rewards for this crucial stage was a magic-type item completely useless to me. Suddenly, a huge wave of energy pushed him back. It made him grit his teeth and forced him onto the defensive. As Chen Guang dodged, he thought, I can't force it anymore. If this continues, I'll die here. His hand started to reach forward. Immediately after, the system's voice chimed continuously. Challenger 002 has decided to give up the assault on floor 17. Challenger 96 stopped at floor 9. Challenger 103 stopped at floor 7. Challenger 66 stopped at floor 11. Challenger 27 stopped at floor 10. Meanwhile, Tu Ming was fighting fiercely. His eyes sharpened, and a faint smile played on his lips. Tu Ming excitedly rushed forward. Finally letting me get close to you, huh? He began to draw his own weapon. Then Tu Ming used the skill Sword Tomb. He leaped high into the air and shouted. Its true form hidden underground was finally exposed. You cowardly turtle. A system notification. Floor 19 cleared. Challenger 15. Team 14 stopped at floor 12. Team 77, 76, and 75 stopped at floor 13. Challenger 53 stopped at floor 14, rank 2. Challenger 002. Li Chenguang stopped at floor 17. Tu Ming remarked, so that sword maniac Li Chenguang has also stopped. Indeed, the difficulty of the 100-story tower after reaching the 10th floor has gradually increased. That guy who climbed to floor 17 on his first try, he really is impressive. At the same time, a mechanical voice rang out, Difficulty plus! Tu Ming fell into deep thought. Based on his experience from his past life at the threshold of the 20th floor of the 100-story tower, the difficulty increases exponentially each time. With my current stats and attributes, reaching floor 19 is pretty much my limit. But it was so hard to get to floor 20. I finally have a chance to use that nostalgic skill from the Sword God class in this life. A floor shrouded in thick dust and smoke. In Challenger 001's space, floor 20 a foot ran swiftly from a pile of scrap metal. Tu Ming moved like the wind. His body was covered in spiritual energy, and a faint smile lingered on his lips. Then Tu Ming unleashed the skill Blade Mastery. The one below immediately countered Tu Ming's attack. The entire space seemed to be filled with their skills. He continuously propelled his body forward. Tu Ming's hand gripped the hilt of his sword, and then he used the power of the hidden god steps. The two began to clash head-on. Tu Ming thought to himself, this guy is parrying my attacks too easily. Level 25, Gatekeeper Knight. He exclaimed, no wonder it's a level 25 Gatekeeper monster. The knight's eyes hidden behind its armor flared to life. It immediately gripped its spear tightly. Tu Ming was startled when the attack rushed towards him. Immense power was unleashed. Tu Ming was astonished. The skill power of this elite monster is insane. He was thrown violently backward in amazement. Tu Ming realized the situation was not good. I can't defend. Based on my current attributes and equipment, I absolutely can't block its attack skills. On average, each attack takes away 1/3 of my health. At most, I can only block one more hit. As expected, even as someone who was reincarnated, I can't just skip levels to challenge this Heavenly Tower Association's 100-story tower. But I already expected this. Activate Equipment Phantom Sword. Choosing to continue climbing the tower was also a way to test if I could use that level 20 skill. Tu Ming began to recall his previous life. It was the skill he was most proud of, God Slayer's Strike. He unleashed his strongest move towards the knight. Meanwhile, Chen Guang was lost in thought. People were chattering. He's amazing that God Slayer guy is still climbing the tower. I got wrecked on the 10th floor. I did better than you. I persisted all the way to the 12th floor. But for a normal player to get past the monster after the 10th floor, that God of Slaughter is just too damn hard. Just where did this newcomer come from? Challenging the 20th floor on his first time climbing the tower. Elsewhere, Shen Guang stood up high, his brow furrowed in annoyance as he muttered, and yet he's able to challenge the 20th floor. Swordmaster Su Ming. Just then, someone walked over and called out to him, Big bro Shen Guang, looks like you've lost to that God of Slaughter. This was the first time since he was a child that Big bro Shen Guang had ever lost to someone else. He turned to see it was Nuna. The annoyance and frustration on Shen Guang's face grew even more pronounced as he let out a cold snort. Back on the battlefield amid splatters of blood, Su Ming struggled to speak. I can only admit defeat. If even my God of Slaughter's single strike can't deal with you. He raised his hand to the system panel. Challenger code 001 has forfeited the climb on the 20th floor. He closed his eyes, accepting it. I have lost. Suddenly a voice rang out from nowhere. You haven't lost at all, startling him. Huh? He told him that at his current level, his attributes were simply insufficient, which is why he couldn't unleash the true power of that skill. He looked at the figure in surprise, thinking, how can this thing talk? The figure looked down at him. I greatly look forward to your future challenge against me. As soon as he finished speaking, he vanished. Su Ming returned to the main hall. I'm back. This familiar scene. This must be the rest area you get after completing a challenge. The 100-story tower challenge. Hey everyone, look. The leaderboard has been updated. That God of Slaughter everyone keeps talking about failed his challenge too. That's right, he stopped at the 19th floor. But that's still super impressive. Yeah, even that genius, the Blade Fiend Li Shenguang, only dared to challenge up to the 16th floor. Just who in the world is this God of Slaughter? In that case, he must have teleported back by now. We should go ask whoever is teleporting back. Hey, are you the God of Slaughter? Su Ming stood there thinking to himself, I can get the first place reward title. That's not bad at all. My completely hidden skill can only edit information inside dungeons, but it's useless in the 100-story tower. No one knows my results, so I won't be bothered. It's great to avoid trouble. Elsewhere, people were still asking around searching for the God of Slaughter as he glanced at the leaderboard. Guizhou and her group are still challenging the 14th floor. Looks like their teamwork has improved a lot, huh? If they keep a steady pace, they can definitely climb higher. If that's the case, then I'll head out first to tackle some linked quests. My level 20 second-class advancement attribute mission has been unlocked, so to make things convenient, I'll choose a location near the subjugation mission point to get it done. There are 3 options, F rank, E rank, and D rank. What the highest ranks available right now are only these 3 choices. He began studying and comparing the locations. Well then I can only choose this one. You have selected Subjugation Mission D17. The content is as follows. Hunt the Great Serpent in the Wild Forest of the Southern District. Reward 10,000 Advent coins, one random platinum skill scroll, and one Heavenly Law Guild announcement card. You are now permitted to enter the 100-story tower area at any time. You appear to have entered an illusionary zone. As the door opened, a place as beautiful as a fairyland appeared before his eyes. What they call an illusionary zone is, well, an illusionary zone. It can connect to the Heavenly Tower area but looks different from the real world. Before the Day of Advent, the real world was originally where humans lived. But when the Day of Advent came, all sorts of unexplainable phenomena, dungeons, demonic beasts, and other monsters began appearing one after another in the original world. Humanity then began to integrate with and enter the world of the awakened. Thanks to the sacrifices and efforts of those who came before us, an order was established in the chaotic real world after the Day of Advent. This created the illusionary zones separate from the real world where humans primarily live, and provided a space for monsters and other strange beasts to inhabit. This has led to the relatively peaceful world we have today, and the trials of the 100-story tower. Were what opened the door of adventure into the illusionary zones for new awakeners. They say that the top of the 100-story tower holds the truth about everything related to the Day of Advent. It's a pity I couldn't finish it in my past life. His eyes filled with anticipation. So in this life, I'm lucky to be able to start over from the beginning. I'm going to complete all the goals I couldn't achieve before. The system panel announced a teleportation gate has been opened for you. Do you wish to select the illusionary zone as your target area? He replied, no. I want to return to the real world for a bit. Instruction received. Now opening a teleportation gate to the real world for you. The reward for challenging the 20th floor is 10,000 Advent coins. That's just enough to complete the order I placed 2 days ago. The Sword God class? It will be mine in this life. The order for my first weapon advancement. The scene shifts to the real world at the weapon trading center. Su-Ming looked at the building before him. I have to come here again. He recalled memories from his past. I got a silver-grade weapon from a stone here before that black iron blood-slaying sword. But now it's not strong enough for the upcoming challenges. But the effects this weapon provides are a huge help to me. I can't bear to give it up. The attribute display panel turns crimson after locking onto a target with the sword. It can absorb a target's blood through attacks or contact to heal the user's wounds. After killing a monster, this sword can temporarily increase all of the user's stats by 5 points for 30 days. Anyway, back to 2 days ago. I had a meeting scheduled with Yan Jae-yoon today. They're going to use the rewards they got from the dungeon to go challenge that heavenly armor squad. Do you want to come with us? He replies, no, Gui Zhao, I have to go get some weapons ready today. She then urges, well, doesn't that make perfect sense? We're on our way to the high-rise at the weapons exchange center to buy stuff. Tamin reminds her, it is a weapons center, that's right, but it's not the one I want to go to. Gui Zhao says urgently, hello, Tamin, are you listening? If you don't want to come, I can buy it for you. Tamin thinks to himself as he looks at the screen. Success. He speaks up. Thanks, Gui Zhao. But the place I'm planning to buy from is in the opposite direction from you guys, back in the present. Tamin raises his hand and rings the doorbell. The elevator moves to basement level 2B warehouse 98. He carefully steps inside. A voice slowly says, you're here. Have you paid the remaining balance? A system notification pops up. Congratulations, you have received a high-grade item. Tamin falls into deep thought. My ascension of all things talent can only be used once on a single item. What's more, the upgrade result is random. If I want to keep the effects of the black iron blood-slaying sword while still being able to upgrade the weapon, then this is the only piece of equipment that can do it. Information about the weapon upgrade flashes across a golden panel. He considers it a success at this stage. This upgrade equipment could only be made by an awakened with an 8-star blacksmith class. Nahura could do it. She begins, to be honest, I don't even know who you are. I've always hidden away in this rundown basement warehouse quietly researching forging techniques. How did you manage to find my contact information and know for sure that I could craft this weapon replication and upgrade device? The required materials cost over 10,000 Advent coins, but I never expected an awakened student like you would be willing to spend such a large sum. Aren't you afraid I'll fail? Tamin asks, who says we don't know each other? She's surprised. Huh, we know each other. Or is my memory just that bad? He thinks to himself, we knew each other in my past life. Tamin gives a slight laugh and says, I was just kidding. He remembers that in his past life, Nahura was an incredibly skilled weaponsmith despite only having an 8-star talent. But thanks to her passion and dedication to weapon forging, she eventually achieved great things in the future. I worked with her many times, and she helped me craft many unique specialized weapons just for me. Of course, our collaborations in my past life cost an enormous amount of money. Right now, 20,000 Advent coins is practically nothing. That's why I need to start laying the groundwork now while she's at her poorest. Tamin says, I don't just know your contact info, I also know you're worried about not having enough funds to buy materials for your next weapon research and development project. Nahura is stunned. Huh? How did you know that? He replies with a casual smile. I'm willing to sponsor you with 10,000 Advent coins up front. After I succeed in my challenge mission and get the reward, I'll increase my sponsorship. What do you say? Hearing this, she immediately gets excited. Are you serious about this? Tamin confirms, I am. Nahura is skeptical. Are you an angel or something? Suddenly he raises a finger and continues, but I have one condition. If I need your help forging weapons in the future, you have to give me a 30% discount. How about it? Nahura smiles and replies, Of course, no problem. It's a deal. The scene changes to the Phantom Realm's wild area. Sunlight filters down onto the green forest. With a piercing sound, a creature jumps in alarm. Its eyes widen as it sees a massive, ferocious beast in front of it. Finally, a terrified scream echoes through the forest. Tamin's feet slowly step out from behind a barrier. He remarks, No wonder this is a Phantom Realm area. The trees here are much bigger than the ones in the Novice Dungeon. Besides the smell of plants, there's another scent here. The faint smell of blood mixed in. My attack target must be... The display shows D17 subjugate the Serpent King. Tamin is surprised. To the south, everything is obscured by these huge trees. It makes it really difficult to see what's going on. And the trees here are too tall. Climbing them isn't as easy as it was in the Novice Dungeon, but there is one thing I could try. After all, I'm not a true sword master by profession. He says with satisfaction, Still, I do have this sword control skill. If I could learn to fly on a sword like a real sword master, that would be so cool. Finally, Tamin makes a decision. Might as well give it a try. He quickly used the sword control skill. Tamin's body immediately fell flat. He understood then, of course, it wouldn't work. It seems that flying on a sword is an exclusive skill for sword masters. Suddenly, the sword in his hand reacted violently. It pulled Tamin into the air. So that's how it works. Although I can't fly by standing on it, I can hold the weapon tightly, use sword control to designate a target, and repeatedly activate the skill. Tamin continued to harness the power of the sword. A sharp glint sparked in his eyes. This could actually work for me. Tamin's joyful voice echoed through the forest. I'm flying. The view from up high is so beautiful, I can see it now. He keenly noticed something happening to the south. Beyond that forest was another area sealed by a barrier. A voice called out, What's the situation? Van Vi replied, This is Subjugation Mission Area D17, no doubt about it. Most subjugation missions in Area D17 are completed in groups. Only that guy took the mission alone. And he didn't join any team, so his name is easy to find on the target location search board. On the screen, the information being displayed was his. Tamin, huh? Flipping their hair, they judged. Daring to take on a subjugation mission by himself, the kid's got some guts. Van Long laughed and added, He's just a clueless newbie with a death wish. I bet we don't even need to hunt him down. Sooner or later, he'll die during the subjugation mission anyway. Matt Bao's face immediately turned dangerous. Then we need to move even faster, lest he dies too soon and we lose the chance to get his reward.